3, 2, 1. We're live, baby.
Yo.
Yo.
Live, baby.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Why does that look so ugly? Oh, there it is. You guys are messing with my shit, man.
Always.
Let me see.
Nuh-uh.
Somebody was, but I fixed it. Don't worry.
Best Squid Dreamer in the game.
I backtraced it. Trevoid is here. Oh wait, there's no music playing or anything. Let me get the game. Wait, what song is that?
That's the main Final Fantasy theme. The main theme to Final Fantasy.
Melodies of Life. Should we try to play music and see what get fucking what's it called? Call?
Our account deleted.
Captured? They try to get us for everything for the one string. Remember that?
They didn't like my Final Fantasy VII stream.
Yeah, they came after. Yeah, that's what it was. MF with the sub for 7 months. Hope the crew's feeling better today. Mercenary Mouse held the force down well these past Wednesdays. Well.
MF.
We're gonna have to get Mouse a key card to the building. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mouse.
Full-time
Thank you,
benefits.
MF. As pretty as Giroud. Blind Eye. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Can you hear the music? Can you hear us? Let's use this time because we've had a break from one another. All good relationships need a break. We've had a break. So, can you let us know the audio? I'll stop talking so someone else can talk, and then you'll.
We were on a break. A little Friends reference for you.
Chandler. I mean, Ross.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep. Chandler. That's it. Chandler Bingham.
And that's a show. One show I've seen, Raw.
I'm a die-hard Friends guy. Got the seasons on DVDs and everything. Blind Eye, hey Raw. I hope your Thanksgiving was filled with fantastic food. It was, man. It was. I love Thanksgiving. Appreciate it. Same to you, Blind Eye. Blart, can you give us some?
Hello, Comello. How you doing, my dude? Good to see you as always. Oh my god.
Sorry. Sorry.
Bo pops into the chat, and that's the first thing you do.
Cope, how you feeling, buddy?
Oh boy. It has been real though. Ah. All right, everyone, gentlemen. Posture check. I definitely was slouching just then.
Oh,
so I'm glad you did
shit.
that. Thanks, as pretty as Giroud.
I'm leaning over my pita bread. Can you guys hear me chewing? If so, I'll mute my mic.
No.
Appreciate. Oh. Goodness.
Oh, look who it is!
Yo.
Dorico. He's a weaker man. He's not playing the game as much anymore.
You know, I can't believe we forgot to like make the title some kind of like Raw Life Returns. I think we did that last time you took a week off.
Yeah, see.
We all took a week off though.
We took a lot of time off. It was just it's been a wild time in Lifestream verse.
Oh, we'll get there tonight. Everyone's gonna know what's been going on. It's
We will get
it's a VH1 behind the music type situation at the live stream. So I don't know if you guys are old enough to know what that was, but one of my favorite shows.
Pretty sure I'm older than you. We went over this.
No. No, you're definitely not. I think. Pretty sure.
All right. We'll leave that be for now. We'll come back to that later.
Fight.
Circle back.
That'll be for the next episode of VH1 Behind the Livestream.
The live stream. Can you guys hear my game in the background? Is there a music? We have a music situation?
There is indeed.
We got a lot of checks. Hydrate too. Drink up,
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah, so check your posture, boys. Check your hydration. A bit loud, MF says. Turn it down.
Cool. And the three of us are coming in okay, guys?
Giroud, music too loud. Okay,
Right,
we're
we
turning
fixed
it
that.
down.
Boy, oh boy. God. Ooh. Mellow with a sub to Darko. That's excellent. Thank you for making sure
Aw.
you're part of the the live stream gang.
Wait,
We need like a name for that.
it was to Darako? So Darko wasn't subbed already. So thank you, Cope, and fuck you, Darako. What the shit? Speaking of which, we're at 2 subs on the evening. If we get to 15 tonight, I will gym pull Dorgan, Bart's dad. I don't know how to say it. I don't care. I don't know what he does. We're 13 away from me gym pulling him. I've got 500
That's
KGF. What's the
literally
worst that could happen? Fuck it.
Blart's favorite character. How
Oh
dare
yeah, no, my favorite character. In
Dorgan?
Final Fantasy.
you. Whoa!
It's Bart's dad.
Dad of the year. All I'm saying is, I wish my dad taught me a cool ninja technique that let me kill a wolf man.
I
True.
don't want to do any spoilers, man, but you know the spoiler. He's
I'm not gonna go beyond that. All I'm saying is, I just wish my dad taught me a cool ninja technique that let me
Me
one
too.
shot a wolf man. It'd be pretty
too.
dope.
me too.
Good
All my
party
dad,
trick.
all my dad taught me was how to put gas in the lawnmower and drink a damn cold one while you're hitting the fucking you laying stripes on a Saturday morning. Hell yeah! Coat Mello, who has the most lifetime gifts and subs? We'd have to look it up, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a wild goose chase. Wait, is that what, a wild? That's not how
It
you use
would
that
be-
phrase.
No.
Yeah, you're using that way wrong.
Unless you're about to guess goose. I don't know. I don't think that's the way.
I'm gonna take a wild hare,
I think the word I'm looking for is just like guess or stab.
a wild stab at it. Tree Void. I think it's Tree Void, and I don't think it's close.
Treevoid has done a lot of work since
Yeah.
showing up here.
Yeah, if I had to bet,
Hope has been here from the beginning, so it's it's anyone's game really. I think.
yeah, Cope. If you go by just like one per month, Cope's probably got seniority. But if you go by total, it's Tree Void is a freak of nature. Friend of the live stream. If Tree Void doesn't mind, maybe later I'll share the photo. We should probably do this on the actual show, but I don't give a toot. I just don't give a toot.
Bonus
Tree
content
Void.
for those who show up early.
What'd you say, Bart?
This is bonus content for those who show up on time.
Yeah. Guess what you guys get for showing up early. Tree Void actually received, after a long battle with customs, I had to acquire a lawyer. I had to appear in lower court. I had to face one-on-one with a magistrate officer. But after a long, arduous process, I am proud to announce on the live stream, Tree Void got a copy of Final Fantasy IX, my copy of Final Fantasy IX, signed with a secret quote that will never ever come to light. But shout out Tree Void, thank you. I'm so glad that you won that and no one else.
Yeah, well, it's appropriate given the support Tree Void has shown the show. It's only appropriate that he ends up getting something of significant value in return. And what could be more valuable than the rarest and most expensive signed piece of Final Fantasy memorabilia you will find?
The best Defo player of all time, one of one. He could probably eBay it for. I would say thousands of dollars. But anyway, what time is it? Are you guys ready to rock?
About game time. And MF, just to comment on your the Mean Girl stream is happening. We just are working out logistics because we realized right before we were about to do it, oh shoot, only people who have Amazon Prime can watch this. So if we do this during a normal time, that's kind of a giant middle finger to the viewers who don't have Amazon Prime. So we're figuring out what we're gonna do there.
Yeah, we may do a thing where we tell everyone when to start it, maybe. And if you're on Amazon Prime, you can watch it with us. And then live on Twitch, we just do the watch through without the video showing. You get me?
We'll have to figure some. We're still working on the logistics there to make it a properly inclusive process, but
we'll do it.
We'll get there. We haven't forgotten. We're just bad at technology.
All jokes
Which
aside,
is
a really, really good movie.
I wouldn't know.
We're very excited.
You know what I need, Bart? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I could lie. I'm not going to. You know what I need.
Okay, here we go.
Every week. I mean, it's every week.
It just keeps happening.
No, Dariko, you didn't miss the Mean Girl stream. I found it, Bart. I found it. Take 201.
Found it. That's it. 20.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
2001.
Sorry, buddy. We haven't done it yet. We're gonna do it. 2 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco. If everyone's ready, I'm gonna take a 1 minute, like 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds, and we'll get it started. You ready?
Let's start the show.
I'll do a countdown though, but give me 30 seconds, and then our 20 seconds, and I'll do a countdown.
All right.
You're gonna say one or no?
Oh my god. Well, either way, I think just once he starts counting, we stop talking, right?
One, I guess.
I feel like this has been a problem for us in the past, sticking the landing on the countdowns.
I just don't want to biff it.
Ugh. We need an overhead emote for this channel. Actually, I'll be honest, I don't even know what that is. It's probably something good and cool, and I agree with you. I just don't actually know what an overhead emote is.
Emote to reference overheads and defo.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right, MF. That good shout, as I think they say in England.
Could do. Should be Agrius's overhead, I would say.
Ooh, that'd be good. If we could figure out a way to get the Agrius overhead emote in a way that's like legible, because I think if we just use the Agrius image that we have on the Discord, it would not translate well.
No.
Unfortunately, we have no artistic talent on this team, and so we have to outsource all our emotes. So if anyone here knows a thing or two about artistic creation and wants to help us create the Agrius overhead emote for Twitch, we'd be very interested in talking.
You might be able to just get the icon off of Compendium. It's just Agrius's head and nothing on top of it.
Just Agrius, and if you know, you know. It's a cool Agrius emote you guys got. Yes, Agrius. That's the focus of this, and not the space above Agrius's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, pretty Jarut. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Casa de Bl'Art is currently recovering from a bit of a COVID situation. As always, we'll get into kind of the how was your week kind of banter on stream once we start the proper show. But since I stopped editing out the pre-shows on the YouTube thing, I guess we could talk about it now anyway. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the Gem Revive moment, that was also very good. Oh god. For those of you who haven't seen it, look up Indolent Lord's YouTube channel. It's probably, if you search by Indolent Lord Defo, you'll find it. And once you found it, definitely check out the tribute video he did for the live stream, because I still sometimes watch that because it makes me laugh every time. Just excellent production, and the content is just chef's kiss. Oh man.
Are you guys talking about me missing overheads?
No. We're talking about
that doesn't happen anymore.
The World Cup. No. Oh man, I remember the one time I tried to when I was the Ursula fiasco. I was trying to let her LD buff fall off, and I failed to do it. It was I tried to pull the Walleye special and completely failed to, and then that ended up costing me the run. Anyway, we're not here to talk nostalgically about my greatest failure. And howdy, Dave. I think we're about ready to start. And
yeah, Dave, we're about to go live, brother.
And as pretty, I'm going to go ahead and defer to Raw Life. If he says Argentina's going to win, I'm going to take him on that. I've been following the World Cup. It's like a guitar politics thing. So I'm just going to, you know what, Messi is God. So we'll say Argentina has it.
Hey, I will. I'll do a whole World Cup corner on the how was your week, Raw Life, or how was your 2 weeks. So if you guys are ready, everyone ready?
Let's get going.
All right, 3, 2.
Now it's time to start the show with Raw Life, Bl'Artagnan, and Leaf. This is the Lifestream.
Hey, hello. This is the Lifestream. Rumors about her demise. Wait, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
The rumors of our demise have been greatly exaggerated. Hey, that's a hard word. Rumors of our demise have been greatly exaggerated. We're fine. I'm raw life. We're here. The game is not going to show up, and you've come to expect that from the live stream. So I will fix that while we ask how Mouse is doing. Mouse, it's been a while, man.
True.
Let me fix this stream while you tell us how you've been.
I've been a-okay. Wanted to thank everyone who came out to the Wednesday stream for Final Fantasy VII Remake. A lot of fun. That's been very enjoyable and will continue to happen. But as of today, I'm doing okay. I was much better before the stream started because I completely burned my hand on some tea water right before the stream. Whoo! That's gonna blister. But can't stop. Takes more than that to kill a bull mouse.
Oh, he changed it to fit the. Okay.
Really a little clever.
Really good.
Thank you. But anyway, Blart, how have you been holding up these last week or so?
Boy! It has been a rough week in Bl'Artland. I gotta say, the household ended up contracting COVID, which we found out the day after on Tuesday of last week. So those of you who missed us last week, the reason was because simultaneously myself and Raw Life were juggling sick kids. And we're like, oh, this sucks. And then it turns out in my case it was COVID, which was great. So thank you for that. We are doing okay though. We're all recovered. Baby Blart actually just kind of tanked it, had a fever for one night, and then since that day has been just running around and like lifting up things and pulling the stand and eating spicy food, and it's been insane. She's a dynamo, and let me tell you, you and your partner having COVID when your baby is a dynamo, it's a struggle.
That sounds frightening.
It is very frightening, but we somehow managed to get through the holiday without any major incidents, despite her best efforts. She started tearing up the flooring. It's a little concerning, but hopefully it won't affect our security deposit when we finally move out. Raw Life, how are you doing? I know I wasn't the only one dealing with some kid what do we want to call it, kid illness issues.
Yeah, all the children are sick, man. My youngest was feeling pretty down in the dumps. We missed Thanksgiving. We missed all of our Thanksgiving things. We took him to the doctor, and the doctor said everyone is sick all at the same time around the world, and it's a nightmare. All of his classmates are out. It's terrible.
That tracks, because when we took our kid to the doctor or the pediatrician, she said, "Don't take if it gets serious, don't go to the hospital. They literally can't handle it. Just go to urgent care."
Yeah.
Which was hearing your doctor say if it's serious, don't go to a hospital. It's kind of a scary thing, but and it obviously ended up working out okay.
Yeah, everybody's got something. Everybody's got some sort of cruddy coffee. I'm gonna turn the volume up on the game, so if it gets too loud, everybody let me know. We are doing a sub goal for today. I do not know anything about Dorgan. I'm sure he's fine. If we get 15, we've got 2 before the stream started. If we do get to 15, we will gym pull him. I've got 510,000 gyms, and I'm not fucking quitting this game with a bunch of gyms. So if we do it, we'll just fucking pull for him. What's the worst could happen? But yeah, we're at 2 of 15 for that. And I think I missed a week, and then we missed as a unit. We missed a week. Is that right?
Oh yeah, no, it's been a sleepy month for us.
So it's 3 weeks. Okay. So little housekeeping. We will kind of be going down the Celes cycle in general tonight. Kind of going over everything we missed. We may get into looking at the future. We've got 2 Shinryus that I haven't even touched. So actually, as we kind of get into the show, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing I've got all the way to RNA as Shinryu, so that's ready to go when we're ready to talk about her. But I'm gonna get through the Dorgan character event. I actually don't have Dorgan on my game. I actually don't have Dorgan at all yet. So that shows you how much I've been playing the game. But anyway. Any other outstanding housekeeping to take care of, boys and?
Well, we had a SQEX stream, which we'll probably talk about after the Celes stream, just to kind of keep things chronological. But I will say that no quality of life updates, which is a little sad. We usually like to see 1 or 2 little oh, we've improved the sword feature, or now you can label your friend, your best friends even better, or I don't know, colorblind mode or something, and nothing, which is a little sad.
Now this game sucks less.
Yeah.
But we didn't get it. Game still sucks worse than it did.
We'll get into that though. That'll probably be a discussion topic for the evening.
Yeah, we've got a host discussion topic for you guys. Stick around. Trust me. Mouse, any other housekeeping stuff before we get into the, I guess, the entire Celes cycle?
I think we can get right into the meat and potatoes of this one.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So Celes got her BT, her FR, and C90, right? All at once?
Not
She did.
C90, but she did get it. Was it her C90?
No, she already had her C90.
Okay.
She already had C90, but she did get a decent rework actually, and the goods as far as weapons go. She wasn't alone, and for the sake of getting out of the way quickly, she did have two other banner mates as far as updates go. We had two dagger users, Zidane and Thancred.
Hey.
Zidane got an insult of a rework. I actually don't know why they even bothered. And Thancred got a really solid-looking rework that would be great on any other character in the game. Sadly, it's on Thancred, so it actually doesn't help at all.
Unfortunate.
They gave him stuff that I feel like they start giving standard to most like good characters down the line, like the Leo true damage, a lot of HP damage up, all that good stuff. And it doesn't. His kid still sucks. They added it. They do this thing I noticed where if it's not the focus character, and even if it's sometimes the focus character, they just add a single HP dump to all the attacks, agnostic to what the character had been before this tuning pass, no matter how long it's been. And like, okay, we've added an HP attack. They're balanced now. Zidane got the same kind of treatment to an extent, but he was already at least in a usable place. Thancred has been pretty pure copium since ever, and that doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon. So unless we have any kind, I know we normally like to dig in a little bit into the best defo character in the game, but we probably should keep it moving and talk about Celes.
Yeah, if you haven't pulled Zidane, he was the best BT of the first BT plus of the first 4. So he's worth pitying right now in his current state. That's my take, and but yeah, we don't have time really to dig into the best character. What was Celes's first? I'm so behind. I'm confused. Was Celes's first event the Six Warrior?
Yeah.
Yes, yep. She's debuted with the Six Warrior quest, and that's where she got her rework FRBT. Reworks basic stuff. It's more damage and better auras, which is cool. We like it when those are both the case, and it's all good. The FR and the BT is of course where it's at. The FR is probably it's actually a really neat kind of synergy. I like it when the FR and the BT kind of mesh well, and it's not just like whatever.
It does make the character release feel a bit more concise.
Yeah, exactly. I know it was actually funny because back in the LD era, I feel like there were cases where, like, a character would get their LD, it's like, why is this? But why this though? And then they get the BT, and it's like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now. Or like it all kind of, they design these kits with the next tier in mind for the most part, unless you're Thancred, and so I don't know, now that we're getting the FR and the BT all together for the character, the kit drops in a very cohesive fashion, which is really cool. Like for characters like Aerith or Reigns right now, they're good, or not. Well, not Reigns, bad example, but Aerith right now, she's good, but like you definitely can see it's like, okay, this character is supposed to be able to go into a BT phase and like FR the crap out of them because it triggers more on their turn, and so that's missing. And that missing from Aerith, we'll get it down the line. Oh god, and then that'll be even better. Celes doesn't have that problem. But she also kind of didn't have that problem to begin with because she's actually more important. She's just a really good off-turn elf. Someone want to give Mouse, you want to give a quick summary of why we care about Celes?
Yeah, so her FR conditions are to absorb brave damage, which is 20% per ally, which is kind of interesting because other than Leon, she is the only character in the game who can absorb Brave, as far as I understand. And then if Celes attacks an enemy that is targeting her, she gets plus 20. I believe that includes off turns. And then if you do ice Brave damage, it's 5%. So if her ice trap goes off, it's plus 25%. If you absorb Brave damage, it's plus 20% per ally. So you can get some pretty good numbers if you build your team properly. You obviously don't want any kind of like guard cover tank, I suppose, to kind of get in front of Celes, because you'll lose a lot of percent per action. But yeah, and then part of her BT effects, which leads into what Blart was saying, with the effects kind of making everything feel more concise, is most of it is just stats, but she does have an effect where all of the enemy attack types become magic, and Celes can only enchant magic. So if you have the BT effect and the FR active at the same time, which you should be doing, then no matter what what attack the enemy does, she's going to be absorbing it, which makes her a pretty potent tank, I would say.
Yeah, no, and I want to say that getting, I think it's like a 45. Is it 25%? It's like I think like the bonus on enemy turn is like 45% or something like that between the absorb condition and the Celes ice damage condition.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy for an off-turn FR. I'd say that there are two things. Okay, there are three things right now that are kind of hold Celes back. Not to say that she's bad, but these are the three weaknesses I see in her. One is the kind of obvious. Oh well, lockout ice can get locked out right now during this period of elemental lockout. So yeah, that is technically a consideration. Not a permanent one, but it's something that not every fight she'll be usable. But whatever. That's just a consequence of the times, and in like a month, that's no longer the case, barring GL exclusive content. The other thing that is kind of hurting her is we already have a bunch of good tanks that including counter tanks. Like she's not a counter tank, so in that way, if she's not your driving FR unit, she can actually synergize well with the cover tank, because you can slap Gladio and Celes on together and Core and do like a team of okay, Gladio covers Celes, who has lock, so Core is always getting his counters and use Core FR, and that's a lot of off-turn damage, because Celes, her off-turn damage comes from a trap, which is not a counter, so it's okay that she's not the one being attacked. Not so with the FR active on the field. I'm getting a little ranty here, or tangenty here. What I'm trying to say with there is, we already have a lot of good off-turn options at unit-wise, and so it's like whatever. The most important weakness I think she has is that, with that being the case, at this point, content kind of rolls over to most good teams, so I wouldn't say she's absolutely necessary to protect you. We have so many good defensive options, it's like, why bother? The reason is because Celes is awesome, and a Bay, and all that jazz, and just a really good all-around character, which is why I blued her and greened her. But I wanted to give you that kind of alternative perspective if you're on the fence of oh, maybe I should I build my Celes or whatever. So yeah, Raw, do you know anything about Celes, or is this the first time you're seeing the character in action here?
Yep, I know about Celes. I'm the best player in the game, so I know about every character. Soraya the Ranger, did Raw get canceled yet? Not yet, baby boy, but it's coming. Stay tuned. Lots of yesterday words coming up on this stream. I use Celes in her 6-man. First off, I'm a little confused because we've been talking about Eamon's challenge in the chat, and you guys are talking about Celes. What are all the? Just real quick, can we run through all the? Because Sid Rain's BT cycle starts tomorrow, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
That is correct.
So I'm missing a fight. There is the 6-man. There's RNA Intertwined Will, and there's Dorganament.
Yeah, what fight are you missing?
What is the
All three that we got.
Oh, it was a three-fight cycle.
Celes cycle was 3 fights.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay, because one of those fights let you use two teams.
Okay. Was that the whole Eamon MTV challenge?
That's a great question.
Eamon, if you could let us know in chat. I'm just begging for a reason to play this game. Anyway, I used Celes there. I thought that her BT effect, I had a hard time with it the first time I ran it. I beat it the second time, obviously, because I'll show you my team. You'll see why. You'll kind of laugh that I didn't beat it the first time. But I don't know if I dreamed this, imagined this. I thought that Celes BT effect made all... How do I put this? It made all incoming damage by bosses magic. Is that not true?
Yeah, she enchants the enemy with magic attacks.
Which is a really nifty thing.
It is nifty, and especially with her role, you know, she's a lock tank, but correct me if I'm wrong, she has no real way other than her lock. If a boss uses an all attack, for example, she doesn't actually provide, other than any of her auras, she doesn't provide any kind of protection for the other two party members, right?
I mean, I think she provides something like
Defense.
a bunch of like, you know,
More
like
than that.
what is it? It's like I'm pulling up the infographic. Okay, 80% magic brave damage taken, 30% physical brave damage taken down, and 8 HP damage taken down 30%. So it's like, you know, it's not like I think Gladio probably has higher resistances on his across the board, but you know, she provides some AOE mitigation. But you're right that like for AOE attack, not quite as defensive. Although, fun bit of tech, you could actually use Camelot, either base or LD call, both of those nerf attack and magic attack at the same time, in conjunction with Celes' BT to provide a lot of AOE mitigation if you end up fighting something where it's going to hit you with a big recast or something.
Yeah, and her BT effect is making everything magic. So if her magic defense brave damage down is 80, it's always going to be magic as long as hers is up, right?
It's also, and that's also ignoring the fact that you have to remove a third of that because the damage going to Celes doesn't go to the enemy when she absorbs it. So she is defensively, she's going to keep you safe in most cases, I think, if you build her fully. I haven't had a chance to use her in like a seriously threatening fight with that BT. I actually this fight is kind of interesting with her because I guess we'll talk about the fight since we're here. 6-man fight, you know. I think the 6-man fight was pretty good compared to the last one. I know we had some I know we had some issues with the last one, but this one I did find something really funny about this fight. It's selling a tank and has instant kill attacks, which I thought was hilarious.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Instant kill attacks that you have to not let them get a turn for, which is pretty funny on a lock tank with a trap.
I missed that. I missed that memo. So I was telling in chat, this was the team I used, and I died the first run. So it is possible to die even with Celes in the party.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to talk about the fight a little bit before we get into Arenea's Intertwined Wills, and then I'll do the Arenea fight while we're talking about it?
Do a little bit.
So we can talk about the enemies and what they do and everything.
Yeah, it's a couple of robots.
It is.
You know about robots.
Yeah, I like these enemy designs. One thing I thought was interesting was they each had 130 million health, which is a little higher than we are normally getting with duo fights, right? Normally it's like 80 million. This is 50 million more than that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely. At this point, we need a bit more beef on them, I think, just to justify FR's existence.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and I also like that the fight starts off with the force attack, because that's it kind of gets around. In some ways, it gets around the problem that we've been facing with you just charge and kill them before their force goes off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's neat. We like that. They also have the ice elemental lock. Well, not ice. Ice isn't locked out, but they have the elemental lockout where if you're not using ice, it doesn't work for you. Which is, again, like, it's really... I'm not super into the elemental lockouts as like a design solution, but I also like that at least it forces some team building decision making.
Yeah, for sure. You can't necessarily bring exactly anyone that you want. You have to pick and choose a little bit.
That said, the best characters are not on non-elemental anyway, so it's kind of a moot point.
True.
Well, here's my thing with this. You're hitting once, even if you're using ice. So, obviously, I've been out of touch. I've been out of tune with the community. So, For once, I'll actually speak for the everyman. Normally, I'm speaking for the elite, hardcore playmaker, GOAT of all time. But for me, as a on the outside looking in for this fight, you're hitting ones like the whole time until you do one specific thing, and then they're huge, massive. I don't know if it was a defense up or a brave damage down. I don't know what it was, but it goes away. It goes away and it doesn't come back, right?
Yeah, it's after the first. They have a huge attack and eye brave down aura until
Right.
your first FR usage, as long as it hits the force weakness, is my understanding. And then after that, it's just like gone for the rest of the fight.
And
Like it doesn't come back.
Yeah, it's not. There, I think there are plenty of teams that just didn't interact with the debuff. I think I actually on one of my runs I tried to use the force weakness and ended up just killing them instead.
I think a lot of characters have enough attack up in their kit, especially for bringing like competent modern supports that
you could just kind of kill your way through it.
Yeah.
That said, it's more. On the one hand, I appreciate that they were continuing to experiment with the force design here and the force time kind of design by adding this component of they have this big scary thing that you need to hit the force weakness to stop, because otherwise, in many other cases we've seen, the force weakness is literally just a quality of like convenience button. It's like, oh, okay, we do this to turn off the enemy force time, I guess. Why do we care? And the reason in this case you care is because they're nerfing your damage quite a bit. The Dorgan fight showcases this really well. The thing I'm not super into is the fact that it just goes away and never comes back, because it already kind of incentivized you to hit the force weakness. Like, I don't know. It felt a little bit like, oh, okay, well, more of a speed bump than an obstacle.
Sure. I do kind of appreciate that it does stay away, because I think if it stayed the whole time, if you didn't have a strong enough team to punch through the auras, then it would make stuff that you're doing outside of FR time like even more meaningless.
It's true. That is true, but I feel like we're already there, so what else is it doing?
But I can also appreciate like not wanting to double down and like give the player the option. Do you want to build a team that can punch through these auras, or do you want to bring someone who can just activate the force weakness? And especially in a 6-man fight where you can like swap in and out.
Yeah, and the fight, beside the force thing, had offered a fair amount of threat on its own.
Yeah, they do a lot of HP attacks at thresholds with big brave gains.
Yeah, scary HP attacks. I ended up bringing the Golbez to tag in to handle those. It was pretty cool.
I did the classic Setzer freeze. Setzer as a backup party member, and just bring him in whenever I needed him.
No, Setzer's such a good. I actually, in conjunction with Golbez, to give him the rainbow numbers. Like, Setzer is a great pick here, just to, pop in that freeze, jump out, pop in LD buff, pop out. I mean, my favorite part about 6-man is that, like, swapping in and out and kind of as needed utility feeling. And this fight, I thought it offered enough interesting threat things. Like, I know we were joking before about they're selling a counter tank, but they give an instant kill attack. But this is exactly the kind of like push pull. Like, featured unit as a counter tank was really good here, except you can, you'll want to swap in delay dudes during this phase. Except there's no reason not to swap delay dudes in for the other phase. So if the non-instant kill phases were like, if you act too many times in a row, the boss like does a big attack. Yeah, that could have been an interesting tension. I don't think it was necessary.
They were kind of one thing away, and I'm angry with the game, so I hate to say it. I brought the most powerful broken team you could, obviously, and destroyed it. But if you bring anything other than that, it does have, like you said, it has a lot of push and pull aspects. They may have missed by one little mechanic. If you take this many turns in a row, they still do. I don't know how that would work with the whole. If they move, they kill you. But it was they gave you a lot of questions to answer. With 6 units on the field, or in your team, it's a lot easier to answer all those questions. But compared to other things that we're going to talk about tonight, it really wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good fight. I think it was better than the last 6-man that we got, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think having a lot of these things that happen on I think I just appreciate having two different enemies who do two different things, and especially the instant kill attack. Even if you deactivate it, they just activate their force right after, which I think is kind of an interesting. It's not a super threatening force time by any means, but I think it's kind of an interesting thing that it's like you're taking you're fighting for the lesser of two evils, kind of beat.
Yeah. And like I said, compared to a lot of other fights recently and moving forward, it was threatening. Eamon's in chat saying that it doesn't stand up to Rushdown, but unfortunately at this juncture, where we are in the game, and JP players, correct me if I'm wrong, that's out the window. There is no fight that's gonna sit here and say, hey, you're not gonna be able to bring Renoa, depending on what it resists, but Renoa, Hope, Luna Freya, whatever, Tifa, and just absolutely blow it out of the water. So that kind of expectation is gone. So other than that, Cross says Jack Garland fight says hi. That's cool, Cross. I will get back to you in 6 fucking months. I mean, dude, that's the reality of it. It's probably closer to like 5 months or at this point, but
It's like 2 months.
Is it
It's
really?
January. Yeah, it's January.
What is it right now?
It's,
November. It's in it. No way. Oh, it's later in January.
Yeah.
Well, still, for the next month, nothing's gonna stand up to that.
And that actually Cross brings up kind of a good point for me, which is something that kind of gives me hope in this game. Is for all the we get a lot of feedback from JP players of oh, this fight sucked, this rolled over, and in most cases they're right. But every so often, once in a blue moon, you get something like Divine Odin is a great example of people aren't really dooming it. It's it happened, whatever. It's not really being talked about, and then it comes and kicks the GL player base in the nuts, and they're like, "What the heck was that?" And it's pretty great. Not that I advocate nut kickery, but it can be refreshing when timed right. Is I guess what we're saying.
Wow.
If we're gonna keep it strictly metaphorical.
Of course. Don't read into that at all, please.
Do not. But yeah, so I think what I'm saying there is I think there will still be fights where it'll catch us off guard because if you don't look into foresight too deeply and do all your own research, I know all the fights mechanics, you'll still be surprised by this fight, this one offered something interesting. The problem is I think they've really leaned into that trope we've talked about of intersecting walls are joke fights, character events and lost chapters are joke fights, and it's kind of a crapshoot if story chapters or raids are anything interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of intersecting wheels being joke fights, should we move on to our next? I
guess we should move on to.
Well, we'll move on to RNAs real quick, but I've had enough highlights that I'm ready. Our host discussion at the end of the night is going to be more about this, but I think Cross brings up a good point here that I really want to address before we keep moving, because 6-man being a kind of tough fight, maybe, for the first time, if you fight it blind and lose, then it can do some scary stuff. Cross says, let me tell y'all something right now. The amount of these fights sucks, and it rolls over, I keep hearing, but then that one fight will kick people's ass, and they will pig at your face. Whatever. Point being, I don't know what he means, but point being is he keeps hearing that he plays JP. He keeps hearing that people are like, "Oh, this fight rolls over. This fight rolls over." Well, Boonevels. Take Boonevels for an example. Yes, if you brought like a non-meta team, it did a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff there for sure. But all we're saying, and I guess really I'm interrupting for no reason because this really needs to go to the host discussion, but at this point in the game is not asking us to do anything at all except for just to destroy everything. If there's no D2D, that's fine. There's no global firsts, okay. But yes, there's some people. There's a lot of people who really fucking suck at this game. I'm not talking about people who stream this game for fun and lose on stream, and everyone laughs and it's a good fun time. There's a lot of people who actually play this game by themselves, like in their room, and they fucking suck at it, and they die on these fights. That is not really what we're talking about. That's not that doesn't matter to us. Those people fucking suck no matter what, and they're not going to they're not a good measuring stick for where the game should be. I'm rambling at this point, and I guess we'll need to move it a little bit to host discussion, but these fights do roll over. I mean, they do. And there was a time in this game, I know a lot of people don't want to remember this, but there was a time in this game, even when you did bring pretty tough teams, the fights would still kind of bite back. There was a time where, for a month called Dare to Defy, where even though the fights, except for Odin, didn't really bite back that much, well, if you're going to do Dare to Defy, you're going to have to do them each with a different team. And the point that we are in this game, unfortunately, it just doesn't. It doesn't care. You want every single item, every single reward, every single thing. I'll give you 3 units who will, regardless of the situation, absolutely, utterly annihilate it and just get you everything you want from now until Jarlin. And I said 5 months, whatever. It's 1 month. End of December, that's fine. Or beginning of January, that's fine. It's still another fucking month. After the last 2 months of bullshit, there's another month till we get to that. So, that's all we're saying is that, yeah, the shitters are going to say every fight is hard, or every fight kind of tripped them up. That's because they're shitters who fucking suck ass at this game. Period. They just fucking suck. They don't understand the difference between Brave Cap and HP Cap. Or they don't know if there's a difference. And they suck, and they're going to lose fights anyway. That's not a high enough measuring stick, and I'm going to get off my soapbox, and I'm sorry, but we'll put an earmark on that for the host discussion. Right?
Buried the lead there, didn't you? Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get you back up on your soapbox later.
We gotta do the normal stuff. Yeah, we gotta do the actual events first.
Yeah, it's okay. We still got an hour to kill. So, oh god, sorry. I'm all riled up because I'm in a lot of mentally. I'm in a similar place. But anyway, Aranea. I pulled Aranea because she's like hot as hell or something. But
yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'll drink to that.
And so she came with a fight and an FR. Presumably one day she'll get a BT and that'll be awesome. This does kind of put her in that awkward, like, oh, well, you know, I'll want her BT later, so I'll skip her now so I can get her BT and FR later on the same banner instead of, like, potentially getting her dupe FRs down the line. And I think that's going to be a consideration from now until they initiate the every character gets a BT every time they get an FR thing. But that's, you know, it's neither here nor there. The wisdom that we always follow is treat every character iteration as a separate, distinct character. And hey, more high power stones if you pull FR dupes down the line. Her deal, as always, is she is a re-breaking delayer attacker with a really good debuff and free turns on break. And she's really hot. I think everyone keeps talking about that. Damn.
Yeah.
It's definitely second what Cross was saying in the chat earlier, but I'm not going to repeat it on stream because this is a family-friendly. Is it family-friendly? I don't know.
No.
In the room. She wouldn't hear me if I said it, but I'm not going to. Anyway. And she's an FR now. And it's a pretty cool FR. It's one of those FRs that I like because it's not just here's some more numbers. It gives you the numbers, mind you, but it's not just here's some more numbers, because the conditions are pretty basic. It's deal critical damage, shocking, and delay. And to add to that, to complicate things in a good way, it also gives you the effect of breaking delays the enemy by a turn. So you can use a rebreaker instead of a delayer and get the bonus. So you can have a team of all delayers, or you could have a team of like delayers and rebreakers, and it's really cool. RNA, of course, can do both. The real kind of the sauce, though, the thing that I think made most people go, oh, I'm gonna pull RNA, is when I want to say dealing critical brave damage, attacking broken target. I think it's dealing critical brave damage. It might be attacking broken target. It doesn't matter. When you hit the enemy in force time, she also gives you a 50% HP damage and Max Brave cap bonus, which is ginormous.
Pretty big for like a non-BT.
Yeah, no,
character.
Which is it's gigantic. Ignoring, and she doesn't even have a BT. Her actual rework is like it's okay, it's decent. It's like she gets more HP attacks. She's just okay character. Her damage per action isn't great because she has those free turns. So in force time, it's like no, but she still does respectable damage given what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, she also got more skill uses, so I think something that I'm not sure. I didn't really use RNA during her LD iteration, but like I think even back then you still had to like use HP plus to bring back overclock every now and then. It's probably not so much of an issue anymore.
Oh right, that was it. They also the important part I glazed over with the rework. The actual good thing is they extended the length of her buffs to make buff upkeep a lot easier.
Yeah, it flows a lot more naturally now. You're not really hitting times where you're without overclock for very long at all.
As a Strago enjoyer, I appreciate that kind of tune-up whenever that happens. I still don't know why Strago doesn't start with Soul of Thamasa, but whatever.
One day.
One day. Not Strago FR, though, apparently. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. So, she also came with a fight. Mouse, do you want to comment further on RNA? I think I like the character. I like the FR. It synergizes with a lot of different characters, and you can kind of build around it. It doesn't do anything so special that you can't get away with using other characters. I pulled her in part because I figure I could just use her FR instead of Vayne's FR and probably get, and it'll be a better version of that because it's part of my ongoing like love affair with Vayne. Is like, oh, this character will work with Vayne. Let's do it. Let's become a giant Yang fanboy because thanks, Blind Eye. He got me again, but this time it was a good thing. But there's some interesting pieces there, I think, and it's unique and interesting, and not just it does more numbers if you have a team. What do you think, Mr. Mouse?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't have a lot to say about RNA. It's not like a character I've ever really gotten a lot of use out of. People who do like RNA seem to be enjoying this iteration. So happy for them. But yeah, it's just like
you didn't use her in the Chaos era. God, RNA time?
Before my time.
Oh, God.
On-day event flashback.
Jesus, she was a goddess. But go ahead, Mouse.
But yeah, like the semi-generic-ish FR effect that she can, with her debuff, can make pretty much anyone hit. And the extra kind of quality of life of having a break delay count for her FR effect is pretty nice. So one where you can super optimize and get good numbers out of it, or if you're just bringing a whatever team, even on the chance when they get a turn from their natural break recovery, you get an extra little thing there. I don't know. Seems like a good unit. I didn't pull her. I'm not going to use her, but yeah, good. As far as LD only damage dealers go, I think she's in like a pretty upper echelon.
So the short version is good unit you can totally skip because nothing matters anymore. Which is the sad state we're in. But if you're tuning into the live stream for pull advice, as I know many of you are, so it came with a so Arne also showed up with an intersecting wolves fight. As I understand it, I watched the first couple of cutscenes and then kind of got the gist and skipped the rest. I don't know if you guys watched it, but the gist of it is, RNA was was walking around, and some of the other characters were like, "Gosh, RNA, you're so cool," and all the other cutscenes are just some variation of characters being like, "Gosh, RNA, you're so cool," and her being like, "Thanks," and that's the story. And honestly, I mean, as far as Defoe's storylines go, I'm here for it. She is very cool, but yeah, kind of weak. This fight itself. Mouse, did you do the fight? What did you think about the fight?
Too hard. Fight's too hard.
Mouse, before you get started on the fight, I'm going to do the Lufania now so that we can jump straight into the Shinryu while we talk about it. But real quick, we did lower the weekly sub goal from 15 to 14, and we added another thing. I already have RNA's FR. Fuck it, I don't care. I'll max it and gym pull Dorgan if we get 10 more subs from right now. So
Jeez.
if you want to see RNA max when I don't have the capability to do so, really, financially,
value right there.
I'll do it. And then also,
You want to put Raw Life in deep, deep debt.
and I'll gym pull Dorgan. So that's what we're working with. I'm gonna do the Lufania mouse while you kind of answer Bl'Art's question and talk about what you thought about the fight in general. I'll do the Lufania real quick, and then we'll do the Shinryu together.
Yeah, the Shinryu is, I think, the worst one we've ever got. Probably.
Holy shit!
It's yeah.
Really?
No,
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm trying to think of a worse one. Like everyone points to Ursula Lost Chapter as being like the weakest, but that at least that one had the benefit of existing before like most of the FRs that we have now.
Yeah.
Cross is saying it's one of the worst, so apparently it gets worse from here, or we're forgetting something.
No, I mean
important.
here's the thing. Love Cross to death. We're gonna go over some of the stuff he was talking about for when we're talking about the host discussion, but he's talking about potentially future fights. Cross, correct me if I'm wrong. Maggie in chat. Everyone shout out Maggie. We love her. She just mentioned Minwoo's. Cross, is there any worse other than Minwoo's that we've already got? Because we're not talking about future fights. We're talking about fights that we have got so far. Is it not the worst? If not, give us an alternative.
And I will also just comment that in terms of the fights we're talking about here, there's a certain threshold where debating which one is the worst is kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, talk about like which BTs should I invest in at the start of the Lufania Plus era or at the start of the Lufania era. That was a meaningful discussion. Which EXs should I max at the start of the EX era or EX Plus era was a meaningful discussion. Here, it's like which fight is the worst, and you get to a certain threshold where any fight that is in the discussion for one of the worst is bad enough that it would get a consolation prize for being just shit. Oh yeah, the Reno fight, that one also sucked, but for slightly different reasons in my opinion. That one could kill you if you were dumb, and the worst part of that was the first time just boring as hell. But anyway, oh yeah, did we mention that RNA's break condition on FR triggers on off turns? It's kind of weird because it also delays, so it makes it hard to take advantage of, but it is kind of just a nifty thing.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's neat.
I'm pretty sure it does. Cross in the chat, can you confirm that? Because I'm pretty sure that is the case. The critical damage component is on turn only, but the break, I think, is also off turn, which is fairly rare for a break condition at this point. Shoutouts to Gabronth.
Yeah, Gabronth in shambles.
He's been in shambles since he debuted, though.
When the Gabronth debuted, I'm a diehard Gabronth guy. I loved him since his character debut, and big Final Fantasy XII guy as well. I was ready to go to war. I wanted to defend him to the hilt. I was going to follow my sword for Gabronth, and I used him. I used him 2 times total since the day he came out. I greened him, blued him, everything, but yeah. If RNA somehow makes Gabronth even worse, then I'm completely off the RNA train now, and I really don't want to max RFR because that's sad.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I used Gabronth a fair amount, and the only times it was ever worthwhile was when I used him in conjunction with Sephiroth, because at the time there were like no good rebreakers you could pair him with, and they finally gave us a rebreaker we could pair him with, and that was Vayne, who had his own FR that was better. So Gabronth really just, I think the one thing that the one redeeming quality he had was at the time he was pretty decent in his debut fight, which was a challenging Shinryu. Also, it has the best animation in the game, as we've already talked about, but yeah, he's going to need a big glow up if and when they give him an Echo or a rework or whatever.
I hate to jump in here. Is anybody on the stream right now comfortable answering this question? What the fuck is RNA's FR called? Anybody?
Oh,
I
no.
wish Zoe was here because there was that German ass for Sid Rain's event. You remember Sid Rain's debut event?
Yeah.
That whatever it was called, she nailed it. So hopefully somebody can reach out to her to get this. What the fuck is that?
They're all German names, right? Like all of her weapons are.
It's probably like
Spearstopwell.
Spearstopwella or something like that, right?
Spearstopwella?
Spearstopwella? I don't know.
Sashvella?
I
The new bad guys in
Irish.
Bleach, by the way, if you're not manga current, the new bad guys in Bleach every Monday, 10:30 on Hulu. They are German. It's the Sternritter, and they each have a shrift and lots of German words. Even with all that going on, I have no idea what Spearstopwella. Maybe.
Who says the B looking letter is a double S, so it's Spearstopwella.
Spearstopwella.
Blind Eye said it's a mistranslation. It's supposed to be Spears to Bavel. That's a joke because Bavel is a place in Sphera. So they definitely would reuse names of cities or weapons. This is Final Fantasy we're talking about. I forgot if you don't build someone's FR but it's equipped, you get 5 turns of 5 turns of foresight. That's cute.
I've seen that in co-op a few times. Pretty funny. They should have more FRs that are 5 turns. You can get high percentage.
Can't wait to use a 5-turn FR and
Yo.
Um,
Who's the best character for Lufenia co-op?
it's gotta be Ignis, right?
Ignis is pretty good.
Debuff immunity, enchant, instant
You can charge like 18 times in a row.
Depends on the
charge up
order.
Warlock.
I asked this in chat, but I want to ask everyone. Did I even get anything for doing that with all synergy characters? Is that they still do that?
Yeah, it's a mission.
Yeah, I think it's a mission.
Okay. Well, we're going to jump right into the Lufania. We've talked about RNA. We talked a little bit about this fight. Wait, did I say Shinryu or Lufania?
No, you said Lufenia, but we knew what you meant.
Yeah, I meant Shinryu. So this Shinryu is a joke.
Yes.
I know you have to do some crit stuff. I think I'm gonna bring Saz and Kate Sithcall, and that should be enough, right? Is that?
You don't have to bring a crit call at all.
Oh, you
And
don't?
RNA has. Well, wait. You look who you have in the party right now.
Well, I don't have
No,
RNA
like-
as FR build.
No, like
But
they
look
they
who
don't
else-
have crit resistance, so you can just get like a normal lucky crit,
Are you
which is
shitting
what
me?
I did because I wasn't
thought-
paying attention to the fight.
If they're broken, then you automatically get a crit, right? What is the?
Yeah, but if they're unbroken, you can just crit normally, because crit is still just like it works like any game.
They can't be afflicted with breaks from brave attacks. However, just look again at the team that you're bringing in right now.
Wait, you want me to bring this team to the Shinryu?
Oh, okay. You weren't going to.
I mean, I don't know. It's blind, so if it's that bad, I guess I could. But Jesus, that speaks a lot to what the fuck's going on here. I don't even have RNA as FR built.
So the big issue with this fight, with the Midgard Somar, which is an awesome name for an awesome kind of mythical reference, an unimpressive situation here. So normally, for a boss featuring RNA, right, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, this is going to be one of those delay fights, right? One of those fights where it's like, oh, you got to delay the boss a bunch, or break the boss a bunch, no boss turn type fight. We've had these before. And normally for those kinds of fights, they incentivize you to delay orbs, mechanics, whatever, but they usually just incentivize you by saying, okay, this boss has scary attacks that you don't want them to do, or they do bad stuff to you if they get turns. So just let them have turns. These bosses don't.
Yes, I believe they don't have any HP attacks
The
outside
only-
of
Are you
if they
shitting me?
outside of if they have enough brave to kill you.
So
Hold on.
they-
Sorry, Bart.
Oh my goodness.
Soraya the Ranger really wants to see me pull Jim Pull Dorgan and Max RNA as FR. Throw in 5 gifted tier 1s to the chat. Soraya, our beloved mod. Thank you, Soraya. Let me update the screen here. We're at 9 of 14. 5 more, and we'll pull on stream and Max RNA. So thank you.
Let's get some dogs in the chat, please.
Soraya. So
Um,
what's
yeah,
the vibe?
so the thing with this year fight, also Goose, I saw that you were in that list. Anyway, the thing with this year fight is, as Mal said, they don't actually have like HP attacks. They have one of their attacks, a single target attack, that they do will apply a debuff to you that on application deals some HP damage. It's not an HP poison. It just when they apply the debuff, it will, it deals an HP damage to you. And so in theory, if you play your cards really wrong, you can take some HP damage from that, not heal it up, and then like they end up with enough brave that they can passively kill a dude. So it is possible to die in the fight if you're trying to.
I'm gonna bring a non-FR RNA, Celes and Renault. How hard is it gonna be?
Pretty brave.
I believe in you.
I think we'll be okay.
Crazier things have happened on this show.
So Maggie with the resub, literally a member of the live stream. I don't think it should count towards me having to spend 125k gems, but it does. So we're at 10 of 14, and MFV, who I love, doesn't love me back, and I'm going to now be one sub away from having to do both these things before the next fight. So. Thank you, MFB. We are close to hype train as well. If you get one more sub, folks.
We got the hype train.
Oh, we already got it?
We hyping. We hyping, my guy.
It's hype.
Show them some cool-ass emotes, y'all. If this is really the easiest fight ever, I'm about to absolutely destroy it.
I like the hippo emote. It's a good hippo in the hype train emotes list.
Do we need some new emotes? Is that what's going on? We need some like God of War and Final Fantasy VII remake.
yeah, we need to redo the emotes to reflect our new pivot. Maybe a Batman emote.
Ooh, we should get a Batman emote.
Oh yeah.
These guys are taking max brave damage.
Oh yeah.
From every single. Wait, can you no turn them?
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna be stopping you.
That's pretty bad in and of itself.
The only mechanic the fight has, you'll notice that you see on the HP bar we have those lovely threshold markers to show when like threshold stuff happens. So you're probably saying, okay, they have one threshold marker, so that's probably when like the fight begins or the mechanics start. So what do you think that threshold marker does when you hit that HP threshold?
Oh, it's an HP threshold, Bl'Art. It's got to be, I don't know, massive brave gain. Then they're going to do a big AoE brave hit. It's going to be, let's see, it's going to be guaranteed hit, and on top of all that, they do an AoE full dump to your whole party, right?
Mouse, you want to tell them what that 80% threshold
Surely.
does?
It's only one. It's only one threshold, Mouse.
So what happens is the boss will gain some damage resistances. The boss cannot brave. It cannot go below 1, and that's it. You can deal a critical hit to dispel the aura, but that's all it does.
To clarify, that's the force threshold mechanic that you see on the force gauge. The HP one is just the generic stat ups that they get at 80%.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So the one threshold that they get is a stat up threshold.
Yes. On the force bar, you'll see, as they're probably about to do in a second or two, they do have the hardening mechanic Mouse was referencing, in which you have to crit them to get rid of it, otherwise they have damage resistance. And that's the one thing this fight does to kind of push back at you.
So what happened? I mean, what happened at SQEX at Ninja? I mean, I hate to be that guy, but what happened? What came across their desk and they said, you know what? We got a bunch of stuff going on this week. Give him the needle snakes, but hear me out. Take away all the scary stuff. Do the needle snakes again, but take away the needles. I mean, what the fuck is going on? And I know all you JP players in chat. Yeah, this person I know. Wait. We got problems, folks.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. It could be tougher than we thought. Oh, no. It crumbled. It literally crumbled.
Yeah.
That's not the needle snakes. I hate to break it to you, my boy. It is literally the body. I don't know if you know this, but almost every fight in the game is a body of another beast, and this is literally the body of the needle snakes.
It's a clever disguise. They tried to disguise
yeah.
this shit fight as a good fight, but they couldn't.
It is, if you look at the way they move, their model, kind of like the ice trolls that you fight, they're also the same as the chicken guys you fight in Dimension N.
Goose is right. Almost every fight in the game is a reskin of the Needle Snakes.
There it is. If you want to argue with Goose, good fucking luck. I can't even understand what he's saying when he talks. So, good luck trying to win that one, partner.
Rude.
So I want to be clear here. Celes took her turn, couldn't do any brave damage or any HP damage. But on her turn, she did one critical. She hit one crit, and that aura is now gone. It's just gone.
Yeah. And I just want to clarify again that they do not have any like crit resist in their skill set either. So you can.
Oh yeah, I mean Celes was. Go ahead.
You can naturally crit, despite them not being able to be broken. You can just like do a regular RNG crit, and it'll dispel as well.
I mean that's what happened. You guys can look back on the video. Celes was hitting 0 one brave damage, and it was critting.
Yeah, you do have RNA as debuff on.
Oh, well, I brought synergy character because why not? There's no Dare to Defy, so why wouldn't I bring the synergy character? Both the synergy characters.
But yeah, this fight is just nothing. There's nothing going on here. I think getting a fight like this deep into Shinryu is like pretty insulting. Like, there's no way that this came out and they couldn't have predicted like this would not go over well.
It's funny actually, because we talked earlier about the Reno intersecting roles fight and how it's a bad one, but at least like it could kill you. This fight actually, the one thing we forgot to mention about this fight is that during their force time, they get the giant damage resistance. You know, the 99% whatever HP and brave resistance, which is a good reason to want to cancel that. So it's basically just the one thing that Reno FR or intersecting rules really sucked with, the whole damage resistance thing it gets, and none of the threat beside that. So it's just kind of a worse version of the Reno fight if you think of it that way.
Yeah.
You know, actually, this is going back to 6-man. I actually did really appreciate the force weakness they had for that fight because it was both specific and complex, but achievable. I don't know if you remember, it was deal magic ice damage that applies a debuff. And
yeah, so it's like her and Terra could do it.
Her, Terra, Hope, and I thought there was another one, but I'm blanking on who it was, if there was. But you have to enchant them, and so like it added another angle to it that I appreciated. Whereas this is like, whatever, man.
Yeah, and then also like
Vaughn with the sphere, that was it. Thanks, Eamon. Vaughn with an E sphere would also do it.
I think
just
one
had
thing
to make him inflict a debuff, right?
And deal ice magic brave damage.
Well, Hope doesn't do ice, so it's the same thing. You just have to.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta enchant that kid.
That young man.
That's exactly what's already happening in Zephyr animation, which I finally saw last week.
What do you think of it?
Hilarious.
Wait,
Pretty
you
good.
didn't build. We missed a couple weeks here. You didn't build Hope, you hipster.
I pulled him, and then just like, what am I gonna do? Gauge charge with him and kill a bunch of stuff? I can already do that with Earth.
Oh, it's amazing, man. I hate that we missed the. Wait, hold on. What are we doing here? I want to do
We'll say unsaid that we missed the Boonavels on stream, which is sad.
Yeah, I want to do FR with Renoa, and I want to burst with 7 turns left. How do I do that right here? 1, 10.
Bring
9.
the hands out.
Yeah, hold on. We got 10. She doesn't get an instant turn, so it'd be Arnea's turn. Break somebody with Arnea. That's 9. Get Arnea again because she broke somebody. That's 8. And then Angel Wing with Renoa. We go ahead and jump into it, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention, but I'm sure the answer is
I think
yes.
it's fine. But Hope, I just want to real quick touch on Hope. As a shitter who's not doing any challenges right now, Hope is unfucking believable. You can immediately charge to 100. You can then FR. You can then use more instant turns to get the gauge charge up to like 400, and then just burst with literally anyone, and they'll probably hit 999. It's fucking wild. I'm a big fan of Hope's kit. Didn't get a chance to say that. And everyone's super strong right now, so I understand what Blart's saying. What do I need? Other people do that. That's fine. But if you're just looking in a vacuum at every kit as it comes through, yes, okay, all the bosses suck. That is correct. All the bosses are very shitty, and we can destroy them without trying too hard. But in a vacuum, what Hope does is fucking sick. I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah,
that's all.
He is super strong, and I definitely recommended him to anyone who was like wondering. And it's part of why I picked him up myself. I was like, this looks like it'll be fun. But then I remembered, like,
you don't need him.
Yeah, I
don't need him.
The only reason I would want him at this point is for the diversity of experience that I love to talk about in, when it comes to this game, of like, just to have a new toy to play with. And since bosses right now aren't really giving a whole lot of reason to make individual new toys valuable, having a new toy whose value is I'm just really good, it's not enough of a hook for me. This is part of why I enjoyed the Lufania Plus area. Is like, I'd look and be like, Hope provides buffs, he provides instant turn rate, he provides brave damage, he provides certain things that I can like look at and be like, oh, here's why I'd want this character beyond just raw power. Because if it's just raw power, then it's just a numbers game, and if I want just a numbers game, I play Sudoku or something.
Sudoku famously, where different numbers are stronger than other numbers.
I mean, you got to get that 7 in there, and so it all fits. But I mean, it kind of goes back to the.
What's the point?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the host discussion that we're going to get to at the end. Definitely everyone stay tuned to that, because we are going to really get into the nitty-gritty of the current state of the game. But it's a really valid point. I enjoyed Hope because it's fun and it's easy and it's quick for me. I don't think I could do it again like over and over. I think it would be really boring after a while. I did it in one fight and it was phenomenal. And there's always, we're going to shout out Eamon and Treevoid a bunch during host discussion. There's always other challenges you can challenge yourself, but why the fuck do I have to challenge myself? I'm playing a video game. We'll do that later. And if you want to check my fucking record, I'm an OG. YouTube.com, Raw Life something. I got a bunch of challenges on there. I used to do challenges all the time, but I'm at the point now where challenges are just. We'll talk about it in host discussion. And we're not even talking about hopes. I don't know what we're doing, because really there's nothing to talk about with this fight, clearly, because they're almost dead.
Yeah. Okay. And let's save that for the host discussion and get into Durgan, because this fight sucks and we want to stop talking about it.
Durgan's coming.
This fight sucks, but Durgan has a good... he's pretty cool. He's got some neat stuff going on. Well, it feels weird because I want you to like have Durgan in front. Well, I guess we still need one sub so Raw can pull Durgan and then build Durgan so we can talk about Durgan.
Yeah, I know somebody's got a fucking Amazon Prime. Gift the sub. I'll pour Durgan. Jeff Bezos wants you to sub to us so that I can pull Durgan before the fight. Go ahead, Bart.
Ah, boy. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, Amazon Prime, free sub. If you didn't know about that, pretty handy. You could toss it our way to show some support. But anyway, so Durgan, it just feels weird with this fight on the screen. Durgan's Bart's dad, and is... it's funny because for months, I was, as a meme, basically saying like, oh, Durgan for Defo. Yeah, let's Durgan, best Final Fantasy V character. Let's bring him in here. And the Mad Lads went and did it. They actually added him to the game. I mean, they did it for Braska already, so it shouldn't be surprising that he's shown up at this point. But it is funny because he has a lot less characterization than Braska. He basically is like if Bartz and Galuf did a fusion dance, character-wise, I guess, which is cool because they're two cool characters I like. But anyway, he has a pretty neat gimmick though. We could get into like, oh, he has Insta Break on his skill 1. His EX applies like a damage prevention debuff and like a rain style turn pull up. That stuff that's like icing on the cake kind of stuff. That's important. The important thing is his entire kit is built around this follow-up attack he does. It's a 3 HP attack, like big AoE follow-up, which he does cool samurai slashes. The important thing about this thing is it triggers on break, but unlike most mechanics that trigger on break, this one doesn't have a cap or a limit. Most trigger on break effects, think Vayne follow-up, think Gabrant FR, think I can't think of anything. Hell, a lightning free turn, whatever. They trigger once. You get one free turn from lightning doing on break unless you AA or whatever. You get one Vayne BT follow up per break. You know, if you break during this turn phase, you get one bonus for the Gabrant FR. Dorgan, if a break happens, you're adding another follow up attack to the pile. If that follow up attack breaks, adding another follow up attack to the pile. If the boss attacks you in the off turn and you know he breaks during that, or like a counterattack breaks it, and then like you get the idea. Basically, it's stackable, which is potentially highly abusable.
Yeah. So it's like as long as the break happens in a single, like for every single action that happens, if it breaks, then it will his counter will go off, which is pretty unique in as far as counters go, or like follow up attacks go in the game. Like Core will do his thing, but you know there's no way to get like extra core follow-ups. But if you're playing well with Dorgan, you can actually like there's a difference between playing Dorgan well and not, which is an extra attack. And yeah, the way he ends up pairing off with different units to take advantage of that can be pretty interesting, I think. For example, something like Galif, which he got his force enhancements alongside him. You know, if he does his dodge counter and the enemy has restored some brave from that, if he counters and breaks, then Dorgan will do his follow-up, which is a kind of a handy way to get another attack in the off turn. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting character kit to work with, I would say.
Oh boy. Just to we forgot a mechanic that this fight has. Oh man, we forgot to mention that if this fight's force attack breaks you, then it messes you up and removes your debuffs or removes your buffs.
Yeah, that happened to me. I'm also doing zeros, so I think I'll just have to survive. I think I have to survive the whole force time to not do zeros. Is that the?
That's correct.
That's the key. You gotta survive it.
Or cancel it with your own.
Oh yeah, or cancel
I
it
could just cancel it when Arnea's turn right here. Let's just do that. Oopsies. Sorry.
But yeah, so
you guys were hoping maybe I could find a way to lose this.
Why are you using Cyan Call?
Just to get it's gonna go up. No, it's gonna go up. The thing's gonna go up barely. Yeah, I mean it's gonna go up by like 0.5, but it's gonna go up. You guys thought that I could find a way to fail, and I'm really sorry to disappoint everyone. I actually could not find a way.
It's too good.
It's too hard. But anyway, this fight's over with. Don't worry, it was close. But back to Dorgan.
Right. So Dorgan also has an FR, which is pretty cool, as you do. And he pairs with Orin because they're both like old samurai who are mentors for their for the protagonists, and their spoilers are already dead.
Oh.
It's okay. I covered my mouth and like talked in deep voice so no one heard it. And so that's cool. It does a few cool things. It has 30% of that that passive cap up that we like to talk about, the good passive stuff that they've been giving us. It also makes Dorgan. I don't know. How's it work? I should probably pull up the infographic or something. But
when Dorgan attacks, it will unbreak before all of his skills, which his S1 and S2 don't do normally, but his EX and his LD do. And then he gives this effect to your party where if the enemy already has Brave, their attacks will be instant break. So it won't unbreak them, but your party can instant break them, which is kind of a handy way to help the party make his FR a little bit more consistent with different teams, I would say.
Yeah, and the actual effect is pretty nifty because it's 20% just like, attacking broken target on turn, which is like whatever. 5% for wind damage, and 25% for Dorgan wind damage. And that's pretty nifty because, as we mentioned, you can get a lot of free attacks from this guy. In fact, the actual FR attack unbreaks after each HP attack. So if the enemy's unbroken when you attack, and it's 3 attacks, you hit them, unbreaks, you hit them, unbreaks, you hit them, and I think it unbreaks again, possibly. And each of those breaks, that's another free Dorgan attack. And the free Dorgan attacks give you 25% on the FR, and that adds up. It's similar to, if you've played with Vayne, it's kind of a similar idea, except he doesn't have a burst phase that you build around, or like a bunch of free turns to monopolize it, and you can use other characters who deal more damage on turn in addition to him doing his thing.
Yes.
Which is pretty dope. And so you could, it's kind of a weird, it's an off-turn FR, but in kind of a weird way because of the fact that he's break reliant to get his follow-ups, because that pushes the enemy back. Like when you use his follow-up, it's going to push the enemy back like 3 turns, and good luck getting a whole lot of counters during that time.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting where it's like technically an off-turn FR, but he definitely works in like on-turn re-break kind of parties as well. I'm sure Arden and Vayne are both very good partners for him. But yeah.
Yeah. It is worth noting that he does not enchant. He doesn't doesn't enchant wind, so you will need the Fujin Call if you want to really maximize your taking advantage of him, or just pair him with his son Bartz.
Fujin is actually a great partner for him in the party.
Yeah, get that off-turn damage.
Yeah.
Hey, Fujin.
Wait a minute. But yeah. I don't know. I like this unit. I ended up getting his FR, and I'm enjoying kind of fooling around with it. Timing breaks and everything. I get to count 5 turns now and plan ahead. So I don't know. He's like a fun unit to play around with. I think he's one of the more interesting new characters that we've gotten.
Yeah.
Overall,
he definitely rewards a lot. He rewards kind of active thought and requires some work to make work, but I think that's kind of a good thing because we have enough characters where you don't need to think to make them work.
Yeah. One thing that I will note that he doesn't bring a lot to the party outside of that. Like he doesn't have auras or like fantastic debuffs or anything like that. So you will have to kind of manage that with other characters in your party. But if you're paying attention and doing making a solid party and making sure they're capping, I think you can get a lot of mileage out of Dorgan. It seems, as long as he's not locked out.
I'm realizing we wanted to have a big host discussion, and we're getting a little deep into the stream, so we should probably breeze through his fight, which is a fun pun because it's a win-based fight.
Yeah.
They have the cool thing where they reduce your Embrave by like a zillion D, by like 99% or something crazy.
Zillion D.
That's the math numbers game, Sudoku. Look it up. And that is just and you need to hit them with the force weakness in order to break that, make it go away. The thing about the force weakness is hitting them with melee wind damage. A lot of melee units we can use, a lot of melee FRs, and we have 2 different ways to enchant wind, because you can actually use the Bart's base call if you're in a pinch and really don't want to use Fujin for some reason.
Hey, we just got our sub goal was met by Eamon. He's going to be a big topic of conversation in the host discussion. But Eamon with the gift sub. Thank you, Eamon. We appreciate it. We got to get to host discussion, so let's go ahead and just pull...
Hop into that gem thing.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull him with gems.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Hell yeah. Don't forget to build RNA, too.
Oh, I gotta max RNA. Let's just do that real quick.
Yeah.
I just used RNA in the only fight that I'll probably ever use her in, but, sub goal is a sub goal.
Like the people what they want.
That's right.
So, all right, but yeah, the fight itself, like it deals some damage. Actually, they have some decent attacks. Really, the main thing about it is you have to hit that force weakness. Otherwise, your Embrave is hilariously low. It's possible to build enough support to get around it. Excalibur had a hilarious team with Ramza, Charlotta, and another support who buffs Embrave and just kind of went through it.
That's funny.
But in
what's
practice,
the force weakness?
Melee wind damage. So you're either using Organ or using one of the many FRs that deal melee non-elemental damage alongside a wind enchant. Tifa, of course, great call here. I use Vayne, that worked great. Core, Gabronth. Yeah, actually, I did use Gabronth here as well. It sucked. Gabronth sucks. It's really tragic. Oh god, poor Gabronth. Poor guy. He deserved better. Traitor that he was. But yeah, the actual fight, they have some HP attacks. They have mechanics. It's been so long since I've done the fight. It was like, it feels like it was ages ago that this fight came out, even though it was more recent than the ones that we already talked about.
I don't have too many mechanics, no. Yeah, not really. They have like a attack down debuff. They're at 50%. They get non-elemental brave resist, but like other than that, not really. They have a buff that gives them 1% max HP once their force effect activates. That's like lasts for 10 turns. You can cleanse that if you want, because it's a blue frame bus.
Yeah, I do appreciate that they have HP attacks, though. They actually alternate between a pair of pretty scary ones, I believe. Not like, terrifying, like untankable ones, but if you're running one of those dumb hipster teams that doesn't bring a tank, there you go. Diversity of experience, I guess.
During their... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's also all dark elemental attacks, so Leon's eating.
Mm-hmm. As always. Leon's the best character in the game. They also do like extra damage during their force time, and their brave resets to 20k. If you're bringing Dorgan, that's like you could super take advantage of that. But
right. I forgot. That's a nifty thing about this fight, and by nifty I mean kind of dumb. Hitting the force weakness does not turn off their force time, and so I actually misunderstood originally. I thought that you had to hit their force weakness while they're in force time to cancel the force in order to get rid of it, because that's how I think it worked in one of the other fights I did. It turns out the reason I thought that was because I used RNA as my force weapon for force time, and I forgot that RNA is ranged because spears. So that was on me.
Oh, it has to be melee, not physical.
Yes, it has to be melee, not physical, melee only. But the funny thing about the force time is it stays, and so you remember how we talked about how, like, with the RNA fight, delay bosses, you want to not let them act because they're dangerous. These bosses actually do have dangerous attacks, but they actually literally give you a free Sephiroth BT effect once they hit their force time. Like, I don't know if you... it's kind of sad, because once you cancel the Embrave aura, because that actually seriously gives her damage, once you get past that, the force time resets their brave every turn. They unbreak every turn, and they don't have turn warps. They don't have delay immunity. They don't have act 10 times in a row and they like blow you up. It's just now if you break them, then next turn you can break them again and continue pushing them back forever.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think the enemy force time should make the boss easier. I think that's very strange.
In theory, it would have been like, if when they the reset to it's 20k brave or something, and that's potentially a big chunk of HP, if not a kill. But they needed to lose. They had to make them immune to break delay or something like that. Otherwise, you get what you get here, which is, so long as your team isn't entirely single target, you just every turn break, and they never act again. And the only way that would go away is if you let them act 4 times. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Is Dorgan greatsword?
This isn't like
What's that?
I don't think this is like a terrible fight. It's not great.
Yeah, it's the HP attacks give me something, and the fact that I thought you needed to wait your way through the force charge up before I had a different experience, because I let them charge their force gauge before I canceled the Embrave aura, which sucked. It made the fight feel more deeper than it is. We should probably also, before we get into host discussion, Lice also got Lice. Is it Lice? It's Lice, right? Because Lice is like a bug. So yeah, it's Lice.
Yeah, it's Lice.
Lice got a rework. The short version is more damage. Chakra is easier to use. Always use on the EX. Or much better auras, including Party Last Stand and Party Unbreakability. So she's just kind of a jack of all trades, great support character with damage now, and Fist users be eating.
Yeah, still a great 3rd slot unit, I would say, with some defensive auras.
I was gonna have a sub goal to make me blue Lease if Raw didn't put his 4th, but I guess I'm just not having a blue Lease.
Thank God. Speaking of which, I did
you missed
220
EX?
G tokens. Yeah, I did 220 G tokens and did not get the EX. So I think.
Does
at
that
this
mean you
point-
pulled for Dorgan then?
I think you just we just token the EX, right? Or do
Oh,
we
yeah.
keep pulling for
I mean, you have, well,
dupes?
hmm,
I got so many power stones. I don't really need
how,
that
how,
far.
how many G tokens do you need? Or how many G tokens do
80
you have
more,
again?
right? Wait, is it 80 or 180?
How many do you have right now?
220.
I think you keep pulling. You didn't get Dorgan with your pulls.
No, I got Dorgan's FR with my pulls.
Yeah, but you didn't get his EX, so you don't have
his-
Dorgan.
EX pity is 300, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
That's like 4 more pulls.
Eamon
Yeah, just
said
do the-
Eamon said the people demand it, so fuck it. I'll save my EX tokens and I'll just pull for his EX.
Good. That's what EX tokens are for anyway. This way you can
so-
save it and use it for spheres.
We're already at 911. Oop.
Never forget.
Jesus Christ. So I'm thinking that we finish the pools for Dorgan and then go straight to host discussion. The fight, not much to talk about, right?
Yep.
So
That's
we'll
about
just-
it.
So we'll finish pulling for him. I'm gonna take a 1-minute recess, and then we will we'll get into the real meat and potatoes, Mouse, of the show, which is the host discussion. We got a lot to
Why'd you say my name?
Because you were the first one tonight to say it. Look, I'm gonna have to pity his EX. You guys got me feeling bad for doing subs to the point where now I have to pity an EX in 2022. Oh, there it is.
Here it is. For real.
Woo!
Look at that. Look at all the EX tokens you saved.
His EX ability is Feeling Timber.
Because Xdeath's a tree and he defeated Xdeath.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He didn't really EX
It all makes sense. It all ties to the lore, Raw, the lore.
We're 40 G tokens away from 300, which could get me
The high power stone?
nothing good. Yeah, I don't think it's worth
Yeah,
it.
no, scroll down. It's a high power stone. You can get 4 high power stones. That's basically like pulling an FR.
It's true.
That is like pulling an FR.
True.
Fuck it. If it wasn't for the subs, I would cut my losses. Sunk cost fallacy.
What
We're about
loss?
to get into it, but
We'll do it live.
You gotta
fuck
believe.
it, we'll do it live. It would be really nice to get one more FR right here, though. So I save some power stones and get the FR power stones. Come on, it's gold, but it could still be FR.
Play out. Let it play out.
Jesus. Fuck.
Also, Excalibur thinks you should play to the. Look at that. Look at all the power stones you just saved.
Easy.
Look at all the gems I just spent. But speaking of host discussion, who knows how long I'm even going to need these gems. So let's see. We'll just do the power stones, right? High power stones. And
Yeah, that's the
move on.
one.
All right, I'm gonna take a 1-minute recess, and I'll be back, and we're
Okay.
gonna do a quick host discussion about
That sounds great, especially
state of the
'cause
game.
Mouse... That's good because Mouse also just stepped away to use the restroom. So I guess
Oh,
you're,
just-
you're it's
Do
me.
do you know like any maybe like the Iliad? Could you like
Yeah,
recite
no,
recite
yeah.
the Iliad maybe?
Easy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Easy.
Yeah, I'll be back.
No question.
Good
no
luck.
question. All right. I will see you in a little bit. So
Where'd Rod
friends,
go?
He went to take a break. I was about to embark on a telling of the Iliad while he was gone, but since you're back,
Go
I
ahead.
don't want to crowd the mic too much.
Nope.
All lights to the discussion.
Oh, thank God, someone else is here. Great to see you. How you doing?
Not bad.
You're just in time to replace Raw Life in the host discussion.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Did you enjoy that nail biter of a finish with the RNA intersecting wills?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was gonna make it. Thought they were gonna kill him. He might not make turns. He only had like 60 turns left or something. It's
Frightening.
terrifying stuff.
There was half a moment where like I looked away and looked back, and the FR attack broke and dispelled the buffs, and I was like, "Did he just die? Is that even possible?" And then
No, they don't kill you.
Yeah, they don't kill you. They just annoy you. It was outstanding. This is the kind of content people tune in to see.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that like they only had to break one character to dispel all your buffs. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought it was on a character by character basis. Like if the
Same,
character got
same.
broke.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But the boss missed 2 of his 3 characters, but still dispelled all of them. It was really good.
Nailed it. Ooh, we should when Raw gets back, maybe we could try and watch that the JP reaction stuff before having our 15-minute host discussion.
Yeah, there's just the reveal, like Obe reveal. There's no like,
Slides.
yeah, it's just slides.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
too crazy.
That's nothing. Yeah, we don't care about that. Maybe next week or something we can watch whatever.
Mean Girls.
JP doesn't exist anyway. Oh wait, hold on. There it is. Oh, yep. Blind Eye sending me the goods. Oh, ooh. Okay, that is very fancy.
It is Orin BTFR, and Brusk is getting a BT as well.
I have to say, Orin looks very good. That all costume, that is a very good look.
Young Orin, pretty good.
The Orin,
20-year-old Orin.
you love to see it.
Unlike ancient 35-year-old Orin for the rest of the game.
Why does he look so fucking old?
Hey, Somegi!
Hello, what's up, Ra?
Hey, it's me. It's Raw Life.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm about to tear Square Enix a new one.
Did you spend all your gems yet?
I spent a lot of them. They got me to pity Dorgan's EX.
Oh, nice.
So that's how it's going over here.
Are you just like poor and don't have any EX tokens?
No, I had some. I pulled them up, and everybody said they all peer pressured me and said, "Don't do that."
You got 4 high.
Why not? What else are you going to use them on? Don't you have all the EXs at this point?
Yes, I literally have all the X's. We can
I
check to make sure.
I will admit that I did actually use EX tokens on a duplicate Pain EX at one point for just to sphere someone I wanted to.
Why did you make me gym pull for an EX then?
So that you can
So
use
it's funny.
EX tokens to get
Stream value.
Jeez, how do you see if you have unobtained?
I can change the filters to passive not yet acquired.
I think I have every single one except for Dorian, but I have his EX now, so
the way around.
I
The way
did
around.
that twice. Wait, I did it 3 times now.
The man can't be stopped.
Oh my god!
Raw life. Come
I will-
on.
Okay, I want that to be lit up.
Please.
Hit remove all and now hit that. There you go. You
Well,
did
that's
it.
not correct. Hold on.
Oh, that is
Oh,
correct. No, I
that's
know.
not correct.
It means you-
I don't
You
have
have
his.
all the
I didn't max his EX yet. That's not correct. Why would
Oh,
that
go
not
back.
show his?
Go back in. Go back in.
Yeah, that wouldn't
you-
show. That should show
Mhm.
his.
You have any other filters on?
Go back in. Scroll down and click
Oh,
weapons.
you should click weapons too.
Oh! Oh no! Oh, well, I have it held.
Oh, you don't have Minwoo's.
Well, I have Jagrin and Kadaj's held, and I don't have Minwoo's kit at all. I completely skipped Minwoo.
Damn.
Sight unseen. Did not get one of his weapons.
God.
I actually haven't done his summon boards yet. So yeah,
Well,
that's
I
how.
mean,
And here's why. As a good segue.
you
All
start-
right.
you start- So what do we get from the SQEX stream, Raw? Today we had a SQEX stream, and as I mentioned, we didn't get any quality of life. What did we get?
We got nothing. We
Oh,
got
we
a
got ticket
big
missions.
fat bag of nothing. We got another year, another month of this fucking company disrespecting us and not doing anything to fix the game. A lot of people say, "Oh, you can't make a mobile game your main game. Do other games. Do other games. Do other games." That's fine. People do Dragon Ball Z. What the fuck is whatever? Bardock Kart. What is it called?
Bardock Cart.
Okay,
Yeah,
now.
that is.
Bardock, yeah.
What is it
Bardock
called?
Cart.
Dragon Ball Z.
Are you thinking Dokkan?
Dokkan Battle. Thank you. Main game. Bleach, Brave Souls. Main game.
No one.
All that. I
Wait,
mean,
no one does that. No one does that.
some people do that. Look up YouTube. You will be fucking
Look up Raw Life on YouTube.
what they're doing to us. And I'm gonna. And here's the thing. I told my co-hosts in private before the stream started. I'm not gonna quit. I can't quit because I love this
Why
game.
not?
I love this community. It's a sunken cost fallacy. I won't quit because I still love the game at its core and I love the community, but this is the worst state of the game. Garbage time, not as bad. Anything in the past, not as bad. We are at the worst state of the game. They are disrespecting us as consumers at this point. There is no reason for Dare to Defy to not come back. The simplest answer for all the problems this game has right now is to bring Dare to Defy back. People hate it. They're happy right now because they literally suck at this fucking game. They suck. They don't like to use anything new. They just like to get the new character and move on because they're trash at the strategy part of the game. Fine. They can skip it because the stuff you get is so nominal. But the people who have paid this game's bills for years, for literal years, I've played this game for 3.5 fucking years. Those people are getting the shaft. They're saying, you know what? Easily, yes. Could we give you just a little bit of a reason? And shout out, I'm going to throw it to other people because I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say. Shout out Eamon and shout out Tree Void. I think that without you guys doing your current challenge, even more people. I mean, this is the biggest quit gate we've ever had. I promise I'm going to go to someone else. Macnol. Macnol has quit. Probably the single, other than Tonberry Troop and TCC, the single most important pillar. Where's my camera? Pillar of our community is quit. And I can't blame him one fucking bit. I cannot blame him because the game is not doing anything. The devs are not doing anything to try to give us in-game content. Yes, you can do Eamon Tree Void challenge, and then you have to use different characters, and it's essentially D2D with a couple more bands, and that's great. And without that, I think we'd be even more critical state of our quit gate. But I'm not gonna quit. I can't do it. I kind of wanted to quit. I can't do it. I still love the game itself. I love what its potential is, and the sunken cost fallacy of all the years and money and time I put into it. I can't quit. But it sucks. This is the lowest I've ever felt about this video game. And with the wife and kids and other stuff, you know, people say play other games. Yeah, you can play other games. God of War is out, and I can play that a little bit when I have time. Pokemon, the new one, a little bit. But as a general rule of thumb, I can't sit down on a day and play a video game for an hour, for 2 hours, 3 hours. I can't do it. But this game, I always could, and it would almost always give me a challenge or give me something to wrap my brain around. And we're at the point where I don't give a shit. I don't want to log in. So I'm going to throw it to everyone else one by one. I don't know who wants to go first. I don't know if you're as negative as I am. And if not, that's fine. Everyone, you know, wants different things out of a mobile game. But go ahead and volunteer if someone could take the stage from me.
Well, so Maggie, since you just got here, I want to offer you a chance to step in first, but I have some thoughts if you want some time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was about to volunteer myself, so perfect.
Oh, yes. By all means.
I mean, so I kind of agree with you in a lot of ways. I definitely think this era has been much less fun to me even than, like, Lufania plus Garbage Time. Like, the fights were shit during Lufania plus Garbage Time, for sure, but at least you got to, like, play with new toys and you had cool new characters who were way stronger than all the content, and, you know, didn't really matter that much, but still had them. And I've definitely kind of fallen off the game in general. I mean, I stopped being a full-time co-host on the live stream because I'm just not playing the game as much anymore. It just hasn't really caught my interest, and I don't really see that changing much in the future. And I know, like, Dare to Defy was cool. I don't know that Dare to Defy would really be that exciting anymore. Just because, like, part of what made it so appealing was how to allocate your limited FRs and how to deal with all these, like, difficult fights. But if the fights are all shit and all of our FRs are so much stronger than the content, and I have, like, what, 12, 13 FRs at this point, is it going to be hard? I don't really think so. But
that's honestly fair because the first month of FR we were struggling to see which FR we're gonna slide in which one, and
yeah, and you did fights with no FRs.
Right, and
Yeah.
It's just
And like you talked about having limited time and playing other games, and like I have a lot of time to play other games. I spend a lot of time playing other games, and I have more fun doing it than I do playing Depot, which is why I don't log on most of the time. I just do the event and do something else because it's more fun.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like as a gotcha game, like you have to do something to keep people's interest, or else they will look elsewhere. And I think we're seeing that happen a lot right now. I think this is definitely the most apathetic I've ever seen the player base, which is
crazy.
a much worse emotion than being angry. Because at least if people are angry about something, then they care about it, right? Like they're putting energy and stuff into it. But when you start becoming apathetic is when you're like losing people, because they stop caring. They don't want to talk about the game, nothing like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the big, like, when you think about other gotcha games too, Christmas is always a huge time for events or campaigns or whatever, and like we aren't really getting anything new, which is I think a big part of why the SQEX stream was such a disappointment. It's just like following the status quo, which we have been for a while now, and yeah, like I'm a little bit less negative. I'm still like I've never logged in every single day on Defo ever. In the entire time I've played, I'm like a every 2 or 3 days kind of guy always. But yeah, it's definitely the player base and is very apathetic, and I don't think SQEX is doing a lot to bring any energy back into the game at this time.
And Bl'Art, I know you're going right. You're going up next, but I want to real quick touch on that.
That's actually the point I want. That's actually the point I want to get into.
Go ahead.
Is this reminds me of back when we were talking about. I want to say it was Dare to Defy, or yeah, I think it was Dare to Defy, and talking about different difficulty levels, and kind of your different types of players. You have your casual players, you have your hardcore players. It's a spectrum, of course. You have folks in between of these things. You got your folks who log in every couple of days. Maybe they'll buy a costume here or there. Maybe they're buying the mod pass. Maybe they don't even do. They do chaos, and that's as far as they do Lufania or the level below, whatever they do, and they're comfortable with that. Then you have your Destrolfs, you have your Excaliburs, you have your guys who, no matter what fight, they're going to run it as many ways as they can to figure out, because they want to really get into the thing. And these are different types of players, and you're going to have that, and that's cool. The thing is, in order to cater to you want to cater to the different player bases with different things, different stuff within the game, different appeals, different hooks. And Defoe's done that successfully. They have kind of the casual appeal of like, hey, you can play with Cloud and Zidane or whatever. And just kind of, and if you're not, if your deal isn't, I'm going to be endgame content, you can just have fun and goof around with your favorite characters and lower difficulties, and that's all fine and good. If you're trying to be an endgame player, the fight needs to present some kind of like challenge, something intriguing, something to engage with, to care about. We've seen what this game can do. We've seen what this game can be. You look at like the really hard fights. Your Hellbound Sephiroth fight, your Odin, your Divine Spirit is the safer Sephiroth fight. Those are the harder fights, yeah. But we also have like the fights in the middle. We have our Beatrix Lost Chapter. We have our Cloud Scorpion raid that when he got his LDBT. You have your just your kind of random fight that isn't the RCL Lost Chapter with, or the random fights where like, no, they're not like the Doom posted, oh, this fight's gonna suck. And they're not the, oh, this fight's gonna roll. You're gonna engage with this fight, and you're gonna have to think a bit and team build and play the game. And so we've seen what this fight can be. It can be all sorts of different things. And I think that's important because the fight's the game is a business. You're trying to make money, and I don't think catering to just one of those player bases is necessarily the right move. But if you're going to, the people who really drill down into the game, who really obsess over, are the ones who are going to spend the money on the game. They're the ones who are going to keep the game floating. And so, what bothers me about seeing the SQEX stream roll out, the one new thing we did get is a Lufania co-op, which I believe JP didn't get. And people have been asking for a long time, oh, more difficult co-op. And different people have different opinions about whether that's a good idea or not. Some people, rightly point to how like, oh well, co-op used to be endgame content, and now it's just kind of a waste of filler time, where one person presses FR, two people press their LD, and then the fight's over. The thing about this is like, we've already power crept Lufania, so I'm worried this is just going to be like the chaos thing, except it takes a bit longer. It's not going to require thinking or brain power strategy. It's just going to require, maybe we have to check an orb, I don't know, but like, I don't think this is going to fix the like, oh, it's more challenging co-op, but it's also going it's kind of speaking to me of like, oh, they're trying to cater to the casuals, to the less involved, to as Raw put it, to the shitters. And I don't think that's a good move, because sustainably speaking, I don't think they're the folks who are going to turn around the profit loss that this game has been seeing in both GL and JP during these eras. I think the problem is, right now the optimal strategy is stomp things too easily. We talk about that because we've always had strategies that like blow through things. If you've been subscribed to Dystopia, you've seen Clay blow through every fight and ignore mechanics every time. But different fights have different levels, thresholds of execution, different mechanics that you have to account for, and sometimes blowing through everything and ignoring mechanic with like a SQEX Airlines or something, you actually have to think and plan and execute properly. Here, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to execute properly and blow every fight up with whatever, with certain teams, and that's a pretty wide range of teams. You got your Renault Tifa, you got your Minwoo, you got your Hope Supercharged, you got your Vayne blowing things up, you got Liu blowing through things up. Like, it's not hard, unless you're using like Kryl or Gabrant as your like FR of choice. It's not hard to crush content, because there just aren't, as we saw tonight with the two fights we talked about, there just aren't many mechanics to stop you from just blowing things up. And that reminds us of Garbage Time. We've talked about Garbage Time before, but the problem is with Garbage Time, there wasn't this high investment cost where you had to like build an FR and B team, Blue the Armament, all these limited resources that are gating you. It's like, okay, you know what? I want to play with Irvine. Screw it. I'm just going to toss some tickets, pick up Irvine LD, max it, and hey, I have a new toy to play with. The fights are shit, but hey, at least these new toys don't require me to have to make important decisions that matter but don't matter. I've gone on for a long time. I actually had some points written down while I was thinking about this because it was ticking me off. But yeah, I feel like they're really... Lufania co-op, I think, is a miss for me, because it speaks to them trying to course correct, but course correcting by supporting the wrong sections of the player base if they want the game's profitability to turn around. Cross, I was referring to the old Garbage Time, not current garbage. I was referring to the time we used to call Garbage Time, not like current time.
The time formerly known as Garbage Time.
Yeah, formerly known as Garbage Time. Yeah, and what you brought up about the different sections of the player base, the shitters, the fucking trash players, they play 6 different types of this game at once. They may do a Mog Pass, they may do a costume, whatever. They are not the ones who kept this game going for 5 years so far. They're not the Nidres, they're not the Daniels, they're not the Macnols. They're not the people who either spent their time, but also, just as importantly, their money, but just as importantly, their time. The Macnols and all the other people who have been part of this community who have just said, fuck this, I'm done with this game. The reason that we're so upset is that we care. We like this game. We love this game. We've played it for years at this point, and we want to see it keep going. And it seems like SQEX has allocated their resources elsewhere, for better or worse, and they've said, you know what? Could we do Dare to Defy this month? Could we do one reskinned fight that's global first, with different force weakness? Yeah, but is it worth it? Probably not. And that is why the hardcore daily player has been alienated. What reason do I have, as someone who's spent probably thousands of dollars on this game over the course of 4 years, what reason do I have to want to play the game every day? There is none. There's none.
Yeah. And Eamon, I want to address something Eamon mentioned in the chat. He said it's all right to take a break from the game if you're not enjoying it anymore. And that is true. It is all right to take a break.
I did that.
Yeah, it is a valid course.
That's the biggest fucking cop-out. First off, I'm going to interrupt you, Bl'Art, because fuck that fucking excuse. That is such a fucking cop-out. Of course it is. If anything sucks, you don't have to. But if you like it and you don't want to, it's okay to also be fucking pissed and say, yo, this could be so much better. This could still be better. I could take a break. A lot of people are taking a break, and a lot of people who who helped this community out for years are saying fuck it completely. Could they take a break and come back? Sure, but that's a fucking cop out.
Yeah,
It's a stupid cop out. I hate that
Well,
fucking phrase.
So it is true, but like you said, the important things are one. If you're there's nothing wrong with taking a break, but that doesn't mean you can't issue valid criticism and saying, hey, I'm passionate about this thing, and here's how I believe it could be made better. And that, the four of us right here, we are, for better or for worse, technically content creators here. We have a platform from which we can say, hey, I see a way in which, this thing that we like, and this thing that you, SQEX or Team Ninja or whatever, like because it makes you money in theory, I see a way that we could suggest that we could turn this, the ship around into a direction that'll be better for the player and better for the company. And we're allowed to say that. Does that mean 3 years from now or whatever, if the game is still alive, we're going to have to, we're going to still be here if the game state doesn't change? No. I mean, at the end of the day, we have a breaking point. Sure, we'll leave if if we're not convinced it'll turn around. We still have enough faith, and we still enjoy it enough that we want to keep doing this. As Ross said, we still like the community. We still like the bones of the game and the fundamentals of it. And so if it does turn around, that'll be great. And like negativity, it's, criticism comes about because, there's issues with the thing, and that's fine. Criticism here and there, that's okay. You're talking, I see, you added to the comment, you're talking about like being overly negative and excessively negative, and the reason I think that's happening is because there's so many instances that make us say, oh god, this is adding to the pile. Throw a Dorgan fight on the pile, throw Arnica on the pile of issues we have here. It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
And X
And we know what it could be. We've seen what it can be. We know how good it can be. The game has a ton of potential, and so every time it fails to meet that potential, that's another log in the fire of, man, it just keeps getting worse, and that builds up the frustration, that builds up the me talking about how much this game sucks and how bad the shitters are when that's normally Raw's job.
Yeah, and XCal, like you just said, XCal said the game has a ton of potential. The game is a mobile gotcha Final Fantasy character collector. We all understand that. Trust me, we've all been here for long enough to understand what the game is. But there's other games that go off this basic philosophy of character collecting that have nowhere near the battle system, the mechanic system that this game has built up. This game, it's exactly what Xcal just said. It has so much potential, and I am not a spoiled brat saying, "Oh, if SQEX doesn't do Dare to Defy," I complain all the time. I want Dare to Defy back, but if SQEX doesn't do this many games a year or this many global exclusive events a month, it's not fair. Blah 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 blah. We just want a little bit of attention to not alienate. I mean, I don't think a lot of you grasp how much Macnol. I keep going back to Macnol. There's other players who quit monetarily. Daniel, he's back for right now. So many players have quote unquote taken a break. But when it comes down to it, those are the players who kept this shit going. I don't think anyone can really fathom the amount of hours since the beginning of this game that Macnol put into this game. I mean, that guy, I'm sure he wasn't making much money, if he was making any money. He's probably spending money, to be honest. This guy was busting his fucking ass. Tonberry Troop continues. TCC. I mean, these people bust their ass for little to no monetary gain because we care about the game. Could you take a break? Yeah. Fucking go ahead and take a break. I, however, have 7 people I want to bitch to, and that's what I'm gonna do. And that's your prerogative to take a break if you want, but it sucks to see there's been a lot of quit gates. Garbage Time brought a quit gate. Chaos, when it first started, brought a small quit gate. Every new difficulty spike brings a little quit gate. I'm speaking. I haven't been here as long as TCC, Macnol, who's gone now. People like that have been here. I've been here for a long fucking time. I have never, ever seen a community as so unbelievably disjointed and apathetic. I mean, we just, as a community, the hardcore players don't fucking care.
Yeah, I mean, even in our circle, there's a lot of people who have cut down on both spending and amount of time put into the game. Like, we had a lot of people that we all know that would run fights multiple times and try out different parties and everything like that, and they don't do that anymore. You know, I'm not, like, I'm buying base Mog Pass right now, and I'm, like, considering dropping that even.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've stopped spending.
I think a lot of you guys are in the same circle that I am, where you either sunk cost fallacy or you don't have to put much time into the game, so it's very casual to just jump on once, twice a week and do it. So we're not gonna quit, and so I'm not gonna quit. I just until the game. I'm here. I'm riding this ship till it sinks, and I hate to say that because I am super frustrated with the game. But for me personally, a combination of time, money, and just sunken cost fallacy. Shout out Mino. I'm just not gonna quit. I can't bring myself to uninstall the game or anything like that. So I'm not going anywhere. So what I'm doing is, instead of saying, "Oh, I could take a break," I am communicating my issues with the game that I think could easily be fixed. I think if they brought Dare to Defy back or something like Dare to Defy, yes, do we have more FRs now that could answer, 7 fights, 21 units, 7 FRs? Yes, absolutely, it'd be easier than the first month, but it would be something in-game that requires you to do even the slightest bit more than Renoa / Tifa, Hope / Luna Freya, other BT character. Every single fight of the cycle. And it's right there. It's right there, and we care about the game, and I wish that they cared. They see the numbers, they see the money.
Yeah.
I don't see the money, but I have to say, there is no way they aren't visibly seeing in the monthly meeting at SQEX, going down the list and looking at Defo Global and saying,
Well, and even worse, the global team, had the foresight of GL to work off of. Like, they know when their profits are dropping and when people tended to leave, and right now we're seeing a lot of that in the GL side. I'm sure similarly there was a lot of that on the JP side too. I don't know, I'm just assuming, but they have that information to work off of. So if they know that a specific time frame is when lots of people were quitting, then they should do something about it. I can't imagine the start of an FR, like a new era, was exactly when people were dropping and they brought D2D in. But like now, it's been going on for a few months. Even a lot of people who play GL now and who played JP, Nidre himself has mentioned he quit around when Tifa dropped. So like, they have the information, and it's not like this is the first time the game has sucked for a long time now. So the frustration in my opinion is like pretty justified, especially for the people who've been playing the game for such a long time.
I'm just gonna cut in real quick.
Yeah,
this is a good discussion, and I have to go to bed. I want you guys to keep going, so I'm just gonna duck out here.
Okay.
You guys continue this and keep going. So I will catch you all on the flip side.
all right. See ya,
shout
Bl'Art.
out Bl'Art. Thank you, Bl'Art.
Sleep well, buddy.
Adios, guys. Look forward to seeing how the rest of this shakes out.
Someone get Mino. Someone Discord call Mino. I want to hear him fucking flip out real quick.
Anyways, what I want to say though, also is regarding the whole take a break thing, is that one, if a bunch of people take a break from the game, like, that's really unhealthy for the game. Like, that's the kind of stuff that would make them consider, like, if they suddenly see half the population just stops playing the game, there's not going to be a game for much longer.
Yeah.
And also, coming back from a break fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people would not come back if they're like, you miss 2 months, you suddenly have a bunch of new summon boards, you've got Spiritus missions to grind, you've got like all this shit that if you don't do it when it's current, like, nah, catching back up when you're behind is awful.
Yeah.
This is my number one person that I want to hear how he feels, just to catch him up quickly. We're just talking about how we're not railing on Eamon specifically, but Eamon kind of said, if you don't like the game, you can take a break. And you know,
Oh,
we
I mean,
definitely
sucks ass. I'll rag on Eamon any fucking day.
we can all take a break, but I spoke out about specifically Magnol. I've been super hyper focused on Magnol. A lot of people don't understand what he has done for the community from essentially day one. The time, the money, just the all the quit gates beforehand. I honestly think they pale in comparison to this because the level of player that we're losing. We're losing over and over and over. People are saying, why the fuck should I just keep playing this game? And we care about the game. It's one of the games that we can play all the time, and we've enjoyed it for so long that it matters. And that's where we are. Everyone was pretty much in agreement. Some Aggie did say that she doesn't think Dare to Defy would be as good now because we have more FRs. If you want to rail
It's
on it,
something.
if you
It's
want to,
fucking anything. Like,
Yeah, it's something. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it'd be like the elixir to save us from the shitty months of fights.
I remember all the fucking dumb fucks a couple months ago were all like, no, fuck Dare to Defy because it'll take time away from the crevasses and crevasses and equinoxes. Where the fuck are they then? You know, like
They all play.
no, they treated it like it was one or the other. When the smart people knew it doesn't fucking matter. Like, give us anything at this point, and you know, we're not getting anything. I don't know. You caught me at a fucking bad time because first of all, I'm sick with like COVID-2 or something.
oh Jesus,
And-
everyone's fucking sick.
Yeah, and then second, yeah, like fucking rates are spiking up like crazy all around the world. Like, this is fucking holidays. I mean, I'm part of the problem too, but everyone traveled during the holidays with their sick ass kids and their fucking whatever. But the second thing is just like, after today's shit show of a stream, I'm like in a real fucking bad mood. So I'll probably say stuff about SQEX that I'll regret in the morning. But
Good, do
like,
it. We'll make a
I
fucking
think
YouTube clip of it.
I think I'm done. Like what I said in TCC, I was not kidding. I even messaged Mark. He says he might be out too, but I was like, dude, I don't want to do a podcast this month because there's nothing to fucking talk about. There really isn't. And I said this earlier that like it feels like they're not time traveling anymore. So Maggie said they time traveled Terra. That's technically true, but I think that's the only like real one. This whole fucking era, and it's like this era feels fucking stretched out because it's going on 13 months in JP with no end in sight. Oh shit, isn't there an Ope in 15 minutes? Let's see.
It
if
already,
they-
it
The
already
video's
came.
out.
We got a
Oh,
fucking
okay.
we got a ace costume
Okay.
And an Orin costume.
and an orange costume.
Who's
and,
getting BTs? Who's getting BTs?
Orin and
fucking
Braska.
Braska.
Oh, cool. Any
More
new
of the
modes or
same.
anything? New systems? No.
No,
No.
Okay, so this is
Nothing,
month
dude.
14. This is month 14 on FRs, whereas the longest we've had was I think base Lufania for 12 months, maybe. No, less. I think it was less than 12 months.
Right?
I don't remember. Somebody in TCC had the numbers. Nidre counted everything up, but basically FR is going on way longer than any other difficulty in this game, period, and with no end in sight because this is month 14. They've announced fucking nothing. I like really held in, but I really think they've given up. I really think they've given up and are counting down to EOS because the numbers in JP are fucking plummeting. I remember that stupid ass thread that people were like, "Oh, this game's dying." They're like, "Where's your proof?" And when I posted, I'm like, "Hey, look, sales are going down like 150K at least every month in JP. Like, it is fucking free falling." I know some of the defenders like, "Oh, yikes! You know, you can't defend that." So their money is plummeting. They're not trying to do anything on the GL side to change things, and it's not going to magically go up. Obviously, it'll go down on both sides, and it's just like, look, they're not trying any new systems. They're not trying C100. It's been this long without any difficulty or gameplay changes, and they're not trying in GL anymore. It really feels like they're just counting the clock down. Because if the money's dropping at this rate, at the rate that it's going right now, because this is the end of November, right? So November final numbers are up. Let me see what the fuck they are.
yeah, pull
JP
those up
this
because I
month.
know you're my guy who always goes and gets those. And I know that this phrase was overused and people hate it. People were mad in the chat already tonight. But I actually watch sports, and I know that this phrase was used wrong back in the day because we were heading to the end of an era into a new era that was already coming forward. Everything you just said, Mino, in sports terms, You know what? Do you know what that is?
What?
That's fucking
Garbage
garbage
time?
time. That is
Yeah.
garbage time. The result is decided. There's no reason to put forth
Oh yeah,
effort
you're
on
right.
either
You're right.
side.
You mean
And
from like SQEX's side, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. There's no reason. This, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to start doing that because everyone hates this because all the nerds were using it wrong. This is actual garbage time. They are not
Yeah.
caring about the level of care of player who quits. They're not caring about the level of player that they cater to. They're not interested. I said earlier, it just seems like they kind of had a boardroom meeting and were like, could we do a Dare to Defy every week? Yeah. How many more work hours? How many more man hours would that take? You know, however many it is.
Like-
Is it worth it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm
think
pretty
so.
sure. I'm pretty sure they're ready to fucking pull the plug because my only hope was, like during garbage time, at the end of Lufania Plus and GL, they gave us something every month. They gave us a couple of fights a month or like time travel or something. Like they tried to shake things up every month. Now it doesn't seem like they're trying at all, and I'll get more into that right now. But basically, so a record keeper got canceled when it was making like 100K a month or something. So that's really low. Mobius was like 300K a month, but I think those production costs were probably way higher, right? So they got canceled earlier. Let's see. So Defo was already plummeting in the beginning of this year. So like they had a 1.6 million anniversary, which sounds like a lot, but everyone was saying it was really bad. So that's February. Then you go to March, the next month, it falls to 1 million. So they lost 600K there. And then it went down to 700K in May. And then that's when they did 4 events and BTs. That gave them a little bit of an uptick. So that started in July. So they shot back up to 1.16 million. But then the month after that, 950. Month after that, 850. Last month, 780. And now we're at 730. It looks like, but it's a big fall every month. And at this rate, I don't think it's gonna last another year. Easy. They're not doing anything to fix it. The GL numbers are even worse. We're floating around 300, 200K a month.
Jesus Christ.
Like that's very close to fucking getting canceled. And like, so numbers aside, pure speculation. It doesn't feel like the community managers care anymore either.
No.
I'm gonna fucking straight up say that. Like that could be pure speculation. They could be doing things behind the scenes, but I can 100% tell you that Josh seems way less active in main court, and he doesn't talk about the game anymore. He'll talk about polls or he'll shoot the shit, but he's not like hyping things up anymore. Or it's not like, oh, there's big things in the work. Oh, you guys should be excited what's coming. It really fucking feels like they're done. like, and then like even on stream every month, right? Like even today, he was like, "Oh, I know we're saying this more and more often, but this is gonna be a short stream." We're
Half an hour.
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna do a 30-minute stream and bounce. Like he doesn't seem. They're very going through the motions.
Yeah.
I really don't think they have anything planned. I'm stopping all purchases here on.
Yeah.
Like no more Mog Pass, no more skins or anything. And I'm gonna see what they do for anniversary. But at this point, I don't even want to fucking do a podcast because what were BC and Mark saying? Like, don't put in more effort than the other side. Yeah, don't put in more effort than the other side, because then at that point we're working harder to sell the game than they are. Like even though we say content creation is like volunteer work, it is still exposure. It is still keeping the community together, and it's still like bringing like advertising the game by bringing it to people's like attention. But like, dude, these fights are so fucking boring now, and like. I know people are hyping up like Pandemonium. They're like, why are people saying Pandemonium is going to be a hard fight? And then you Google and it's still like a Renoa selfie Hope team that's like crushing it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I really
negative. We're not being negative for the sake
I'm
of being negative. But we're not being negative for the sake of being negative. That's the thing. You know, we've had some comments in chat. We're not being negative just because we want to be negative. We're being negative because we care. Yes, it is easy for us to say, oh, we'll just take a break. Oh, we'll just stop doing the show. TCC could stop doing the podcast. You guys don't understand and Mino's on here now, and I know Mark's in chat, but I don't care.
Oh, Mark's in.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of newer players understand the hours, the man hours. Macnol, Tomberry Troop. Shout out Tomberry Troop. They're still going strong. That's awesome. But Macnol, Tomberry Troop, TCC. I mean, from the very beginning, these are the fucking pillars that held this community up. We care. That's why we're so upset. Yes, could we take a break? 100%. It's a fucking phone game. Delete it from your phone. That's fine. We don't want it to see it go the way of Record Keeper. And it's a massive bummer to see people like Macnol, like TCC, like everyone around being so disappointed. It's not that we're like, oh, this game sucks, we're just going to do something else. That's not the vibe that anyone's trying to portray. What we're trying to portray is that this game and the bones of this game are head and shoulders above any other gacha, any other mobile that you're going to find. And for SQEX, maybe as a business decision, I don't know, but for SQEX to say, you know what, we really don't give a shit about the people, the pillars that have held this up for this long. We're allowed to be pissed, and I think I speak for a lot of people to say that we are pissed. And apathy is worse. Apathy is much worse, and the more I look around, not just in the discords I'm in, but the discords I don't talk in, the more I look, the more apathy I see. And apathy is the last thing that comes before end of service, and that's all I'm seeing around, and it's sad, man. It really is sad, and
it's natural. If they're planning to end soon, it's natural. Like it's not like it's not like Raw was saying, like as a business decision, if it's doing poorly, then they would just run out the clock and make whatever, like you said, actual garbage time.
Yep.
Like they would just run out the clock and just rake in whatever last money they have with whatever assets they've already developed, right? Like
that's what it seems. That's what it seems like, though. You know?
Yeah. That's just how you go out, right? Like honestly, I don't think I don't know how many new models are how many new in-game models there are anymore to be added from JP, and how much memory this game can take. Like there's only so much you can add, right? Like I'm sure they're hitting their fucking limit somewhere, because we're just getting like giants with like chicken beaks on them now. But like I mean, like, I'm not here to spread negativity. It's Raw told me to come on. I was ready to do the Zoomer thing and like silent quit or something, right? like people don't fucking understand that if I throw a hissy fit in Discord or make a quit post on Reddit, it's drawing attention to the game, which I don't want to fucking do, and it's also way more effort than they're putting in. Again, like the easiest, like they're not trying anymore. I don't want to fucking try anymore. I'm not trying to change anyone's minds. You guys can keep playing. I really don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, like, as somebody who really liked the game and supported it, if Josh watches or listens to this stuff and he knows this stuff, I'm on his streams at least like once a week. We chat and stuff. Like he's savvy enough to know how the community feels. He watches a lot of the shows. He listens in. He has like fake accounts and discords and shit. And it's just like, if he knows this problem and he can't address it, then like you're gonna think it's over. It's fucking done.
If it's beyond him at this point, it's beyond him.
Yeah, I'm 100% not paying anything anymore, and I'll see what anniversary brings. But I'm 1 foot out the door for sure, 100%.
Yeah. And but we got to get out of here. But I want to run by everybody else real quick. But that is one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on, honestly, because of. I mean, it's been years. All jokes aside, all the bits aside, I mean, it has been years. It's been years, hours, time, money that a lot of people have put into this game. And if it ends, it ends. And we understand that all things come to an end, but we're still allowed to voice our displeasure and voice how we feel and how we think that it could possibly be better, instead of just, I will not go quietly into that good night.
I want to just to add on to that really quick. I know I'm hogging the fucking time right now, but like it's a cliche. You hear this in the business world, but they say like the people who complain are important because it's the silent quitters who like are really gone, right? Like the people who are like voicing their displeasure, the people who care enough that you could probably convince to stay, or they're the ones who like love it enough that they want to stay. It's the people that like, like Eamon, who quits all his games and stuff. Like I don't know that fucking unfused pixie. It hurts my heart that he paid like $60 for a game that he played 2 hours of, right? Like
He never finished it.
yeah. He quits it like that. Those are the type of people you don't really care about. But like, it's the people who will voice their displeasure, who are looking for a reason to stay. And if you don't address those, then you lose everybody. You lose the silent quitters and your diehard fans.
Yeah, eventually you just have no one saying anything.
Yeah. Eventually you have if you go to like other games that are like on death's bed, like FFRK, if you go look at that, or like Brave Exvius, there's like no one posting on those fucking forums, right? Like there's no content creators, there's no nothing. Like if you try to get into those games, there's like nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah, and we are not the sign. We're the ones who are asking. We're begging SQEX to give us a reason to stay. You know what I mean? We are there, wanting to see something on a stream that says, "Hey, it's tiny. It's something. We have things coming up for you guys to keep you around, and we're asking to be to not be alienated."
I'm gonna tell you this. If anniversary rolls around and we don't have a GL anything,
Yeah.
like they could time travel something. They can GL first character. I know some of these are big asks, but if all we get is maybe a token event and a sale, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to call it. I'm like, they're done. They're not trying anymore. They're just trying to get it's garbage time. They're trying to get their money and get out at this point.
Actual garbage time.
Because remember, last year we got 3 time traveled LDs and a BT, right? No. That was not last year. Vincent was 2 years ago?
No, Vincent was 2 years
Vincent
ago,
was
and
2
last
years
year we
ago,
got Garnet, Global First BT.
Yeah, and then we had
Entire cycle and all
we
those
had an
fights
entire
and
cycle,
Yeah.
entire new cycle. You're right. We got an Equinox, a Crevasse,
And
and
3 LDs as well. There was Alize's LD, Liliset's LD, and Ico.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So we got a shit ton of stuff. If it's less, they're winding down 100%.
Yeah, I'm even disappointed in like nothing for Christmas, really. Like,
I know.
Yeah,
that's
last
like-
Christmas we got the Lena fight was last December, and
They're
that was in the
saying they
middle of
might
the
have-
good fights.
the fucking bean counters at Nidre.com are saying that we might be missing a banner too, because at this point in JP they had an extra banner of Cam and another
Charlotta.
returning- Yeah, Cam and Charlotta repeat, and they're like 11 free polls are gonna be all the banners this month, and they counted, and they're like, dude, they might have just removed a fucking banner.
Jesus.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
But yeah,
what's going
I mean,
on
yeah,
here.
we know they're probably not rerunning that because there would be like costumes too, right?
But yeah,
With
no,
Charlotta and Cam,
I think
yeah.
all banners are accounted for, and they're not there. So I don't know.
I mean, that would just further the idea that it's actual. I know the words everyone hates it. Actual garbage time. JP is moving towards an ending, and what is the fiscal business decision reason to throw a bunch of new stuff on us? There is none. And if that's what happens, then I would say Mina's 100% right, and I mean that's it. There's no reason fiscally for them to spend any manpower, whether it's 40, 80, 160, doesn't matter, any hours whatsoever, towards giving us anything new, because why would they? They're aware that it's coming to an end, and like we said, all good things coming in, we understand that. We're just hoping against hope that the structure that they've built, the community they've built, they care enough to just throw us a couple bones. And, you know, we'll see.
Oh, by the way, people who are asking and saying, "Oh, they're still making 700,000 a month. That sounds like a lot of money." I think War of the Visions is doing like 40-something million a month. So
On
they could
JP
probably
side, yeah. That's
Yeah.
very low.
So like that the guys, it's not even close to what they want to be
Yeah.
making.
The
Mobile
700
phone
the
gaming is
700
very big in Japan, so like 700,000 is very low.
The 700
Yeah, like
is
that's
on
probably
the JP
not
side,
worth
right?
Yeah, it's probably not worth the resources at that point. Yeah. So like the fact that JP and GL combined is like a mil probably that is not great. Yeah, but yeah, dude, if they're taking banners away on Christmas, that's like worse than getting coal in your stocking. That's like Santa robbing you when he stops by your house.
Fucking
Like,
Mr. Scrooge, Deco devs.
No, it's literally
The
the Grinch.
Grinch.
No one. Yes, there you go, Samegi. I was waiting for someone to say who's the guy who comes to
Stuffs
your
up the
house.
tree.
Yeah, and takes the stuff. It's not Scrooge. There's actually a guy who comes and takes stuff from your house on Christmas. It's the Grinch. Thank you,
Krampus.
Samegi. It's 10:05. This has been a good conversation. I want to throw it to Somega and Leaf just a little bit. If you guys have any other additionals, we kind of dominated the conversation because I'm drunk and I'm upset and I love this fucking game. But Somegi, do you have anything else to say? Any closing thoughts on the state of the game in general?
Yeah, I guess like the one thing I kind of was thinking about with what you guys were saying was the whole like quiet quitters, the people who aren't going to make a lot of noise and are just going to leave. And
silent quitting, get it right. This is your generation. This is Bluey all over again.
fuck off. But I worry, I guess, that we're hearing about all these like high profile people quitting, and that probably means that all those other people already quit. We just didn't hear about it.
Oh yeah.
Like, is it too late already? Like, you're not gonna bring them back.
Yeah,
that's
a good
huge
point, right? Yeah.
That's a great point. If somebody like Macnell has quit, think about all the people. That's a great point, Samegi. All the people who aren't doing shit like that, but are playing and enjoying it and spending money and aren't on the Discord we see every day. How many of those have quit already? I mean, it's tons. You see the fucking SQEX stream and you see one person from a Discord that we know, and we're like, oh shit, that's this person. Well, think about the other like 15 players on that Discord. I mean, on that stream, who we don't actually recognize. No one from any Discord recognizes. We're in a small subset of this community, and there's a huge portion of it.
Yeah, there's the whole Facebook community.
Right.
I mean, okay, here's a fun experiment. Everybody, go check your friends list tonight, and go see how many of your friends have not logged in at least 7 days, at least a week, right? Like,
Especially
Raw,
if you
do
haven't
that on
updated.
stream. Let's
Yeah, especially
check-
if you haven't updated.
check
So
your
I haven't
zero.
updated this. I haven't updated this in probably months. So let's see.
Yeah, when was the
Oh,
last time you
and I-
updated it? What can you remember?
No, it's been a long time. Probably before Shinryu started.
Okay, so pre-Shinryu. Okay, let's see what we got. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
and
Samegi.
oh yeah, to finish up my closing thoughts, since you were talking about garbage time, you know the devs are in garbage time because they pulled all their starters, and they have like the C team designing all these fights.
Yeah, you know, SQEX is done with a game when SQEX Glacy is removed from the project. She's always put on the cutting edge games. You'll remember she moved from here to, I think, Romancing Saga, and then to something else. I mean, she's not with SQEX anymore, but clearly
She's on Union Cross Kingdom Hearts, right?
before this,
I thought
yeah.
that
But,
I thought
and then
that
she got
canceled.
moved to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before. She went from K-Hux to Defo to Romancing Saga to something else. I forget. But she was always on the Bleeding Edge game. Oh, no, it's not Echo Mon. I don't.
It was Octopath, right?
Oh yeah, Octopath. Thank you. Yeah, you're right.
I gotta take a picture of this real quick with my phone, and then we'll move on. That's actually important to me.
Get 'em.
I wish I would have seen that on Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, your cousin was a silent quitter.
I wish I would have seen that on
Cousin silently
Thanksgiving, but
quit.
that's a big problem for me personally. So
A
we're gonna
silent
move on.
quitter.
So the first page was mostly just a bunch of people who haven't been on for months. Oh shit, Cross is in here talking shit. He didn't even sign on today. Cross, where you at?
Gosh,
man?
you're gonna miss your 15 Force Stones.
Get off of fucking. Also shout out. Rest in peace, Arole. Arole was like 49 days, and then everyone else here. This is all 16 hours and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've got 3 pages full of people who are. I mean, these. People
Oh,
haven't quit.
that's a lot less than I thought, because I'm pretty sure if I check mine, I got like 5-6 pages of people who've quit.
Well, I only have 177 friends. I don't have 300.
Uh.
So out of 177, I have 2 pages of complete quitters, and then like this whole page is complete quitters. 89. 5 days. You never know. And then-
Hey, go back. There was someone called like Freddie Pischetti. and he like put up a troll friend unit and said, "I'm done with this fucking game."
Not Freddy Spaghetti.
Freddy. Oh,
Was
here
it-
we go. Here we go. Freddy Paschetti.
Unfollow, done with this.
Oh, you fucker.
Top dogs like Macnol and Freddy Paschetti are leaving the
Yeah.
game.
Where's my phone? SQEX, you really want to lose people like Macnol, me, Mino, and Freddy Paschetti? Think twice, buddy. Mouse, we didn't go to you. Do you have any closing thoughts, man?
I had something, but I forgot. I was laughing too hard. I was laughing too hard at Freddy Paschetti. Shit. Yeah, we've hopped on Macnol leaving, being like a big blow to the community. And it is, like this C2A was a huge resource for people who did struggle with the game, potential future, spenders. But having something like that, like a person like that leaving, is terrible. A Reddit thread doesn't replace the C2A, right? It means you have to go on the shitty fucking subreddit to access that information now. And again, like, it's just sad to see somebody, well, not sad, but it's a little unsurprising maybe to see so many people be so, like I said, apathetic about the game. And SQEX had a big opportunity here to maybe turn it around if that was something they were interested in, and it seems, or at least start to. It seems like they have opted to not. So just a sad time right now.
Is this the last live stream episode ever? Or are you
No.
guys gonna be on next week?
No, that's the thing, man. We're here till the ship goes down. We are hoping. We are that small subset we talked about where we are begging the corporation, please give us a reason to continue to put our time and money into this. I'm done with my Mog Pass. My Mog Pass came up today and said, much like you just said, Mino, I'm done. I'm not gonna spend any money. I'm gonna keep playing the game, keep current in content, but I'm not even updating my Mog Pass. Anything even as small as that, because if they're not, moving forward, why should we move forward? So I mean, we're having this huge conversation amongst all of us about how disappointed we are because we care, and we'll still be here. But like you said, man, if it comes to Christmas and they say, here's the Christmas schedule, and it's literally, event for event, JP again, I don't know. Livestream's gonna be here. Yeah, Livestream's gonna be
is.
here. We
It
made
already
less
is.
than
Yeah,
JP,
we
it's
have
less than
the
JP.
December
They
schedule.
They removed
past
the fucking banner.
Not Christmas, anniversary. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But
anniversary. Okay.
we'll be here. We've made some friendships here that we'd love to keep going beyond Defo. Maybe we play different Final Fantasy games in the future.
Nah.
That's something. Yeah, no, we're done. We're done. You'll never see us again. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be back with Bl'Art streaming Sudoku next week.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Tune in next week for the New York Times crossword puzzle. And
Don't
here's a
think about it,
big.
New
I
York
mean,
Times.
Tree Void in chat. My money has been redirected to Genshin, and it's funny, but it's also like, there's
I don't think he's joking.
he's serious,
No.
Yeah.
and there's tons
Yeah,
of people like
the
him.
big spender.
Yeah, there's tons of people like him that are serious, and it's
Mhm.
it's sad, and
And it's hard to get someone to reinvest in a game once they've decided to stop.
That's-
Like as easy as it is, not easy as it is, but like there's the thing where when someone spends $1 on a game, they're more likely to start spending more. It's hard to get to bring someone back into the fold once they've decided they're done.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier also about like people taking a break from the game.
Mhm.
Like those people aren't coming back as spenders either way.
Yeah, the only people that come back is because they can't afford to play another game.
Well, the Vision is so expensive. What the fuck?
all right.
But yeah, I'm gonna do just separately. I am doing my Final Fantasy VII remake stream on Friday this week, but
So-
7:30 still. But
Yo,
So, hang
Mouse,
out
when are you gonna like be in voice chat for that so that we can hang out?
I don't know. I'll figure it out sometime.
Oh
I like
shit!
being-
You
I
got to
like
be
hanging
on the
out.
PS4 and also have Discord voice chat.
Yeah, we can talk. You and Mino do that one time?
Yeah, you wanna know how we did it? I took Mino on my phone, and I pulled up Discord, and I put it on max volume and set it on my shoulder, and Mino screamed at me. He screamed at me and said the worst things he could come to mind while I tried to play Stranger in Paradise. So that's how we did it. If you want to go that route, let me know, and I'll be there.
I'll look into
screaming.
some kind of.
You just become a PC gamer. Get the fucking game for PC. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I actually just finished playing FF7 Remake a couple days ago.
Gross.
Did
on
you do
PC.
the download the DLC?
Yeah.
Hey,
It comes with the PC version.
Lifestream. You didn't stream it for us, but maybe you'll get back to Final Fantasy IX
Oh.
someday.
I'm not gonna like also stream FF7 Remake at the same time Mouse is. Like,
Yeah, well,
be
it's
terrible content.
competition. Compete. Who can do it faster? PC version gives you mod access. I've seen a mod of that. We're not gonna go into. We gotta get out of here.
Jesus.
I've seen a mod of that. I might pay. Hey, Christmas coming up. Let me get
What's your
that.
Raw Life? What are your closing thoughts?
Oh, I haven't done my closing thoughts. So my closing thoughts are, where's my camera? If you suck at this game, shut the fuck up, quit, go do something else. We don't give a shit. You always sucked. You probably never spent money. I don't give a fuck about what your opinion is about the state of the game.
No. If you suck, please spend more money so that
Spend
keep the
more
game
money
alive
so
for
you'll
us.
care. So you'll care and actually start to engage with the mechanics of the game and help us raise our voice to demand little adjustments to the schedule so that better players are accounted for and not alienated. And number two, I like this game a lot. I know that if it dies tomorrow, hey, end of service comes, that's gonna be a bummer. I'll read it and I'll be like, man, that sucks a lot. Hopefully, I'll keep up with the community. I've met a lot of people in the community I really like and want to, beyond defo play with. But that's always an option. And don't ever confuse the live stream realism with pessimism. There's a huge line between realism and pessimism, and unfortunately, I'm not being dramatic, no hyperbole. Everything you've heard tonight has been realism. That's realistic. None of it's pessimistic whatsoever. It's all realism. And I, along with a lot of other people, care about this game. I have always been an everyday player. There was a couple months. If you're a TCC or Frog server regular, there's a couple months right before Lufania started that I was MIA without access to the game. I didn't play it. But other than that, I've always been every single day log in for 5 minutes, do a quest, and get out. And we're getting to a point where even I've gone 3 days, without playing the game at all. I've gone multiple. It's taken all I've had to not get more than 3 events behind. I'll jump on to finish an event because I know that the next event's coming, and I don't want to be 3 events behind because it'll just be too close. And it sucks, but we love the game, and we love you guys, and we hope that maybe this isn't the end, and maybe that they will listen to their fan base and the people who spend money, because shitters don't spend money. Shitters don't spend money because they suck at the game, and they always will suck at the game. But I'm rambling, and I've already talked enough, so we will be back next week, regardless of what SQEX does, but we've already gone through everybody, so thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday. We'll probably be playing Dark Knight Rises or whatever the fuck it is. But we'll be back either way. Live stream's not going anywhere. That's the main takeaway. We'll still be here no matter what happens. But you never know. Maybe things will change with the game, and we'll be playing this game for years to come. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the subs. I've now got Dorgan. I don't even like this fucking game, so I don't know why I just I don't know why I pulled Dorgan, but hey, we've got him thanks to you guys. So we'll see you next week, and I'll do the Bl'Artagnan thing, and adios.